in the River North area and sexually assaulted her. Chicago Tribune says it happened Saturday night at the Godfrey Hotel on West Huron on the near north side. Police say that it appears that the suspect targeted the woman and that several surveillance cameras may have gotten video of that man. A woman was killed, 3 others hurt outside of a bar in Elgin early Sunday. Police say a verbal altercation involving several outside the D Hangout Bar and Grill turned deadly after someone fired shots shortly after midnight Sunday, striking 3 women and a man. One woman died later at a nearby hospital. Police say she may have known that suspected shooter. The city of Evanston's longest-serving chief executive is dead. Lorraine Morton died over the weekend, according to the Chicago Sun-Times. Morton was Evanston's first and only African-American mayor. She served for 16 years after being elected mayor in 1993. As mayor, she was known as someone who brought people together, but also was a bit of a budget hawk who opposed higher property taxes. Lorraine Morton was 99. A 26-year-old man died late Saturday after a massive wave swept him into Lake Michigan near North Avenue Beach. The incident happened around 5:30, and Chicago fire crews searched for nearly 2 hours in the water, finally pulling Ramiro Calixto out of the lake around 7:30. He was rushed in critical condition to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, where he later died. This morning, a new landmark agreement is being hashed out between an Indiana city and an Illinois community that once clashed recently in federal court over water rates and a big dispute over who had access to Lake Michigan water. Hammond, Indiana, and Chicago Heights have signed a deal under which Hammond will supply more drinking water to the Illinois city for resale. The new 20-year contract calls for Hammond to ultimately sell up to 10 million gallons of Lake Michigan water per day to Chicago Heights. That Illinois city will then sell that water to several south suburban Chicago communities. Aldi stores across the Chicago area are looking to fill hundreds of jobs this week. The grocery chain wants to fill about 300 positions at stores and warehouses. Wide variety of positions. Wages starting at over $12 an hour to almost $23 an hour. Governor Bruce Rauner declares a harvest emergency in the state to help crop-hauling Illinois farmers compete with those in neighboring states. The Republicans' declaration allows haulers to exceed road weight limits to get crops to market faster. Motions hearings will be held today in downtown Los Angeles at a Civic Center courtroom in that city in a false advertising case against Tootsie Roll Industries. Katrina Gordon claims the Chicago-based confectioner underfills its boxes of Junior Mints and Sugar Babies, sold at Southern California movie theaters and elsewhere around the country. Gordon alleges Tootsie Roll is not printing the correct amount of candy on its boxes. Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to Aaron Rodgers and lost 24-23 in the season opener at Green Bay. Rodgers returned after a first-half knee injury. Bears head coach Matt Nagy says it was difficult for his team to take the loss.
That's a tough one for us. It stings. I want our guys to feel that. They understand. I want our coaches to feel it. We talked about finishing, and we didn't do that. But I'll say this, I'm really proud of our team. I'm proud of our guys.
Khalil Mack ran back a pick for a score for the Bears, who blew a 20-0 lead. Cubs and Nationals postponed in D.C. Cubs and Brewers starting tonight. Cubs only lead Milwaukee by 2 games heading into the critical series. Cole Calhoun singled in the only run in the 7th. White Sox lost to the Angels 1-0 on the south side. This update is service of the Positive Coaching Alliance. Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Coaches, parents, and students visit PCADevZone.org. 5:08 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicagoland's retirement expert, on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Precision Payroll of America and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
Welcome to Jimmy John's.
Hi, your new 9-grain wheat sub is so good. How do you make it?
With the highest quality ingredients and love. I mean, we definitely don't sing at lullabies when it's baking. Lullabies are what parents sing to babies.
Right.
And we don't use a baby carrier to carry the warm, fresh 9-grain wheat subs to the cooling racks. I mean, they're not babies. They're for making delicious sandwiches.
Okay, I'll take a turkey tom.
Oh, don't name them. It makes it harder.
Try our new 9-grain wheat sub, Jimmy John's. Wheat yeah, freak yeah.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Coins and currency are full of history. Coins and currency are fun to look at. Coins and currency can be great investments and a great hobby too. Here's your opportunity to see one of the largest coin shows in the nation, and it's free. Make plans now to attend the 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association. The show is at Mega Center at the Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. This is a show for the whole family. Ask about the kids auction, collectors, investors, or if you just want to find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles. This show is a can't miss. The 59th Coin and Currency Show, presented by the Illinois Numismatic Association, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 20th through the 22nd at the Mega Center at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. Get more information at ilnaclub.org.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America invites you to take steps for cures at a walk event near you. Support the 1.6 million Americans living with these diseases. Get started at cctakesteps.org.
5:11. Get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
In Maywood, the intersection of Lake Street and First Avenue is closed in all directions due to a crash. North side of Lakeview, Broadway remains blocked. Belmont, Madison, after Lakeview East Festival Yards. That should be reopening now. Lincoln Square in Leland is blocked. Another hour in Western and Lincoln Avenue after the German-American Oktoberfest over the weekend. Expressways and tollways look pretty good. Eden's fine. Same goes for the Kennedy, the Eisenhower, the Stevenson, and the Rhine. There is some road work on the Rhine, wrapping up, though, in both directions of the express lanes. I-57, Bishop Ford, just okay. No problems to report on the tollways at this hour. No problems or delays to report on I-80 or in northwest Indiana. With traffic, I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center and our meteorologist Madison Baggett.
Partly sunny and nice today, high 73. Clear this evening, low 56. Another pleasant day for Tuesday, mostly sunny, high 78. Tuesday evening clear, low 60. And then for Wednesday, sunny and warm, high 81. I'm Madison Baggett on AM 560, The Answer.
58 at O'Hare, 62 along the lakefront. It is 53 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. No Bears theme music to kick off this week after. There it is. Well,
it was such a good first half, wasn't it?
Not much to celebrate at the end of it. Yeah, they sort of started to slow down and fade when Aaron Rodgers pulled his Willis Reed in the second half. I'll tell you what.
I really thought he was injured.
Well, he wasn't faking it.
No, I know, but I thought he was out for the game, possibly the season. And my heart broke a little bit for him because I feel bad. Everybody loves Aaron Rodgers.
Usually, if you get carted off, you're not back in the second half, particularly when you're a $134 million player and essentially the franchise. You don't want to risk it. But I'll tell you what, that's a game that was a heartbreaker for the Bears, but it's one you'll remember when Aaron Rodgers is giving his induction speech at Canton. That was some performance because, frankly, on the other side of the ball, Khalil Mack, he lived up to the advanced billing. He lived up to 2 first-round draft picks. And
who's that Hicks guy, number 98? He's a beast. I told Peyton, I go, watch this guy, watch him, do what he's doing. I mean, he never took his eye off the ball. He was so impressive. But, of course, my kids, we're going to the Super Bowl, Mom. Hey, guys. It's not even the first half isn't even over yet.
Yeah.
Slow your roll because that's what the Bears do. They break your heart. They get you back. They suck you back in, and then they break you.
Well, I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch, and Trubisky, I think, is coming along. I mean, I think the Bears. I'm a little bit encouraged by the performance yesterday, even though they're going to have to get over giving that game away, so to speak. I mean, Aaron Rodgers really took it away, but Trubisky. He was composed. He made smart decisions. Defense looks solid. So
75-yard return at the beginning. I thought this is going to be it.
Of course,
we're going to go all the way.
Yeah. The only problem is, of course, nobody's watching the NFL anymore. So
everybody was watching the Miss America pageant.
Yeah. Well,
there's a split screen, where we could try and watch both.
So on Thursday night, the Atlanta-Philadelphia NFL opener was down 13% off last year's opener, which was down 11% over the previous year's opener. So you really have some attrition. And this weekend, of course, you had more kneeling going on, and that gets a lot of attention. 3 Miami Dolphins kneeling during the anthem.
I call them 3 pansies. And then one stood up, but then he put his fist up in the air. They shouldn't even show that. Who cares?
I don't know if even diehard Bears fans even care about a Bears-Packers rivalry game anymore. I don't know if they care about a Lambeau Field. I don't know if they care about a Mitch Trubisky or a Khalil Mack or a Roquan Smith. I just don't know. 312-642-5600 Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA Turnkey.pro text line. Are you so upset with the NFL, with Kaepernick and Nike, that you're not even going to watch the Bears anymore?
There's other teams I might not watch, but I can't not watch the Bears. I mean, it's just not physically possible for me not to make that appointment television. Because it's part of our culture. It's part of our fabric of our life. Sundays, you watch football, with the family.
Mm-hmm.
And you watched the game. I mean, there was no way that you weren't going to watch, right?
Yeah, I did watch it. I'm not. Look, I'm in fantasy and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch. I mean, that's probably the only reason I do watch.
Yeah, how many fantasy football leagues are you in?
Especially after the Steelers tied the Browns.
Can I ask you
be tough.
a question about this?
It's a tough start.
I know they played an extra quarter. Why don't you keep playing until there's a winner? This is very soccer-ish to have a tie in football.
It's very rare. That's the difference between football and soccer, among others, use of hands, scoring. No, I don't know how long you've been watching football, but there's always been one overtime and
that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's been ties before.
It's different rules in college, though.
It is now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So I'm not crazy.
Colin Catwell.
Well,
that's a separate question.
312-642-5600.
Speaking of Kaepernick, Tiger Woods, he's not going to take the bait on Trump, but he will take it on Nike because he wants to keep that sweet lucre flowing in. Asked about Nike's decision to make Kaepernick the face of their Just Do It campaign, Woods said, I think Nike's trying to get out ahead of it and trying to do something special, and I think they've done that. It's a beautiful spot, this extended spot that features Kaepernick's VO. and pretty powerful people in the spot. Woods said he had no, they didn't tell him it was coming, and they don't run decisions by him that are not golf related or Woods related. But he was, sort of upbeat on the matter, and apparently so is the audience to whom Nike is trying to market.
What's online sales are up 31%.
Yeah, so.
But one place where sales aren't doing well, there's a small Missouri college. I'm sure you're familiar with College of the Ozarks.
Yeah, we
What's
talked
their?
about it
Oh,
Friday.
you did? That
Yeah.
they're removing the logo from their, or they're not going to let them wear those.
No
uniforms.
Nike at College of the Ozarks, and Get Back to Work. That's the college that has the mandatory work program as part of your academic experience at College of the Ozarks. I don't know if
Really?
they could be onto something there. All right, we're going to stick with the intersection of sports and politics here.
What's the name of that segment?
The intersection.
Section of sports.
Yeah.
Wait, did we get an open for it?
I don't know, Justin. I think
Justin's
was,
working on a little ditty there.
He was loafing over the weekend, so.
Sports and politics
Oh.
and sports and politics and sports and politics and intersection. Arrogance and ignorance. Arrogance, ignorance, and arrogance and ignorance. Intersection.
Yes. Well done, my man.
I didn't even knew that he knew
My Sharona.
My Sharona. I would think he would have no idea that song even exists. Huh. All right, that's impressive. All right, we're going to play it again and do Serena Williams after this.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Doors or windows sticking? Uneven floors? New cracks in your drywall or exterior brickwork? Bowing basement walls? Does any of this sound familiar? Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. Many homeowners across Chicagoland are experiencing these symptoms of structural foundation issues. All too often I hear of a homeowner that paid for an expensive consultation just to determine the problem. Don't be one of them. Call Permaseal at 800-421-SEAL. Our certified structural consultants will thoroughly evaluate your foundation and offer a permanent solution at absolutely no charge. From Waukegan to DeKalb to Kankakee, we're committed to providing you with quality products and the superior service that you deserve. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL. When the work is done, you'll have a transferable warranty along with priceless peace of mind. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Known best for being better. Permaseal.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Email phishing attacks cost businesses billions annually in real cash, data loss, and brand damage. Phishing emails are hard to detect because the messages appear to be legitimate to unsuspecting employees. Introducing Barracuda Phishline, a groundbreaking cloud-based solution designed to help employees recognize sophisticated email phishing attacks through interactive training reinforced by continuous simulation. Transform your employees from a liability into a line of defense. Go to barracuda.com/PL to learn more.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
Don't you love fall and sleeping with the windows open? But are you really sleeping as well as you could? The MyPillow buy one get one free offer is back for September. And if you haven't bought your MyPillow yet, Here's your chance to get one for yourself, a loved one, or maybe as a gift. I love that I can move the field to get the support I need regardless of my sleep position. I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. My pillow is made in America, washable, dryable, hypoallergenic, and has a 10-year warranty plus that 60-day full money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for this great buy one, get one free deal on premium MyPillows. You can also get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress toppers, pet beds that my dog Bunky loves, luxury Giza cotton sheets, and more. Call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit mypillow.com. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, speaking of Miss America, since that was on opposite the Bears game, this is the first installment without the swimsuit competition.
After 98 years, they decided to replace the swimsuit competition with a talent competition, and then they had a questionnaire section where the contestants would ask the other contestants questions. So they didn't have a star out there interviewing him.
Madeline Collins, Miss West Virginia, was asked a question on Friday night about the most serious issue facing the nation. She replied, Donald Trump is the biggest issue our country faces. Unfortunately, he has caused a lot of division in our country. Now, see, the problem with that is responses were limited to only 20 seconds, so she didn't get the additional detail. And I'm in complete agreement about eliminating the swimsuit competition, the evening gown competition. I want to eliminate it all. The entire Miss America pageant should be an extended interview with the contestants behind a screen so they remain unseen, because I don't want my judgment poisoned by their physical appearance. And it should be a complete intellectual exercise. So I want to really get into the weeds on, say, for example, Miss West Virginia's perspective on Donald Trump, on the other ladies' perspectives on climate change, on nuclear proliferation, on trade policy vis-a-vis China, energy independence. It should be an hour-long
Q&A.
firing line type of discussion, so we really get a full understanding of their understanding of these important issues and make the judgment solely on that basis.
Well, maybe she listened to President Barack Obama before she got on stage and answered that question, because there's still the same level of hate. But just so you know, it's not a pageant anymore. It's called a competition. They made that very clear at the opening of the show.
I should turn it into a discussion, a debate.
Yeah, a debate.
Yeah.
And the winner was Miss New York, Nia Franklin, and her talent was singing opera. And you love the opera, right?
Yeah.
Well, is she good or is she bad?
So this is La Boheme.
I knew you'd know that.
No. I think La Boheme. We have it. She's making my brain hurt. I think La Boheme is part of the upcoming season for the Lyric.
Oh.
It'll be a lot better than that. I can guarantee you that. Again, Miss New York, Miss West Virginia, the whole raft of them. And by the way, not that I think it should be just Miss America.
Right.
I think
it should
Miss,
be.
I think Miss is discriminatory. So I'm sure Gretchen Carlson will want to take that under advisement.
She said that she feels really blessed right now. She wants to thank God, because without him, I wouldn't be standing here. It took a lot of perseverance to get here, and I just want to thank my beautiful family for coming, my mom and my dad, who's a survivor of cancer, and I love him so much.
What I really would like to know from Ms. Franklin, though, is what do you think our policy should be towards Nicaragua with the meltdown that's occurring there and the potential refugee crisis? What? What should we do about it?
I know. I don't know what her line of questioning was when she was up there.
Miss West Virginia, yeah, I hear what you're saying about Trump.
During the time.
Let me ask you a question. Your suggestions. Give me 2 or 3 ideas about what we should do as it pertains to hyperinflation in Venezuela.
Well, hyperinflation in Venezuela. I am so glad you asked.
Yeah.
It is a problem. That's an example of a socialist country where that has failed, and people are starving and even eating squirrels on the streets if they can even find them.
And every day, 800 plus try to flee into Brazil just to survive.
Are you auditioning?
So that's a dictatorship that needs to be shut down.
Are you
my-
in the coaching business now?
That's the answer she should have offered. If
It's
she was
not bad.
asked.
It really doesn't address the hyperinflation. Though.
No,
This is why I want
I
an
have
hour.
hypertension in my back. Is that what
That's
we're talking about?
hyper. Yes, it's not the hyper we're talking about, but that's why I want the hour so we can really plumb the depths. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you a whiteboard.
Yeah.
Chart some supply and demand curves for me, and let's talk a little trade policy.
Just so you know, Franklin, her platform is going to be to promote healthy body image.
Healthy. I mean, I don't want to see the bodies. I just want to hear
That's
the answers.
the irony. We can't see their bodies. There's no evening gown competition or swimsuit competition, but that's her platform.
I just want to hear the answers, and I don't want to hear any more of Miss New York singing from La Boheme.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of screeching, Serena Williams at the U.S. Open.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Your beach hazard statement is up again today. High waves, dangerous swimming conditions will continue along the Lake Michigan shoreline in Illinois and northwest Indiana. Hurricane Florence rapidly picking up strength over the southwest Atlantic. NBC meteorologist Michelle Grossman is tracking Florence's progress.
Right now, 105-mile-per-hour winds. That's a strong Category 2 storm. We expect it to be a Category 3 storm later on this afternoon. That would be a major storm. And then by Wednesday, a Category 4.
Florence turning about 600 miles southeast of Bermuda this morning. Likely hit the Carolinas on Thursday. A Dallas police officer is charged with manslaughter after shooting and killing an African-American man in his own apartment. Amber Geiger, who is white, was arrested for the killing of 26-year-old Botham Jean. She claims she thought she was entering her own home last Thursday when she encountered the man. Les Moonves is out as CEO of CBS following more accusations of sexual misconduct. A dozen women have now accused Moonves of misconduct, with 6 of the 12 claims coming to light Sunday. As part of a deal that brought about his exit, Moonves and CBS will donate $20 million towards sections of the Me Too movement. Illinois U.S. Senator Dick Durbin not happy with how the Supreme Court hearing of Judge Brett Kavanaugh turned out.
Kavanaugh, in an earlier life, used to school judicial nominees of what to say and not say before the Judiciary Committee, and it was pretty obvious in his performance there.
On NBC's Meet the Press, the Illinois Democrat said Kavanaugh spoke in practiced evasions. Durbin's words said the hearing was focused on Roe v. Wade and the Affordable Care Act, but did not focus on the Mueller investigation as much as he wanted. Wind chimes at a gleaming steel and concrete tower now commemorate the people who kept hijackers from flying a plane into the U.S. Capitol 17 years ago this week. The 93-foot-tall Tower of Voices was dedicated yesterday, including 40 wind chimes, one for each person, on United Airlines Flight 93. Chicago grandfather is dead this morning after throwing his grandson out a window to save his life. Fire started Sunday afternoon inside of a home on South Avenue L, Chicago's East Side neighborhood. Police officers caught that boy. He was taken to Comer Children's Hospital. His condition is stable. The grandfather was rushed to University of Chicago Medical Center, where he later died. Chicago sports. Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and lost 24-23 in the season opener in Green Bay. Cubs and Nationals postponed in D.C. White Sox lost to the Angels 1-0. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 5:33. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher will give you information the mainstream media won't.
The Labor Department announced that 203,000 people applied for jobless benefits last week. That is the lowest level since December of 1969. Can I repeat that? The lowest level since December of 1969.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer. Illinois deserves an honest analysis of the problems facing our state. Avoid the spin from the mainstream media and Springfield insiders by tuning in to Illinois Rising every Sunday at 3 p.m. AM 560's Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute tackle the policy and political issues that matter most and discuss possible solutions. So if you're sick of the status quo, then be sure to listen to Illinois Rising this Sunday at 3 p.m. on AM 560. The Answer.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salonpas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salonpas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
Every year, thousands overpay for a used car. They're left feeling disappointed, ashamed, and alone. Traditional pricing books only add to the confusion, offering only guesstimates and ranges. Carfax has a better way. When you search used cars at Carfax.com, you get the most accurate price based on the Carfax report, so you never have to overpay on a used car again. Start your used car search today at Carfax.com.
Riding a Ski-Doo snowmobile is an experience unlike any other. With the extreme power of Rotax engine technologies and the agility and handling of the revolutionary Rev Gen 4 platform, every wide-open straightaway or tight twisting corner becomes your chance to experience what we call that Ski-Doo feeling. Visit your local BRP dealer and save up to $1,500 on select 2018 models during the Yellow Tag sales event. Offer ends September 30th, 2018. Certain conditions may apply. See dealer for details.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
On the inbound Ryan Expressway, traffic is jamming up from the Stevenson into the Burns Circle. There is a crash blocking the ramp from the inbound Ryan to the outbound Eisenhower. Jammed up that ramp, and then the Ryan itself coming into downtown. 25 minutes travel time from 95th to Burns Circle. Outbound fine at 15 minutes. Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway, delays start at 111th Street. It's 20 minutes, 8094 to the merge, outbound fine at 15. Edens, Kennedy are fine at this hour. The Eisenhower looks pretty good. Traffic's getting a little bit more congested through the avenues. Down Stevenson slow, Lamont Road to Cass, Pulaski to Kedzie, and Damon to the Rhine. 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny and nice today, 74. Should be dry all week long. At least that's what we're seeing now. 56 overnight, 78, and sunshine tomorrow. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, 81. By Friday, we'll be in the low 80s, around 82. Currently 58, 62 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Sports and politics and sports and politics and sports and politics and intersection. Arrogance and ignorance, arrogance, ignorance, and arrogance and ignorance. Intersection.
I'm going to be singing that all day.
Yes, Justin's good. So that's a good earworm song. So you
That's
you can almost not go wrong adding lyrics to that.
Yeah, but
way
to go.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so that's our new segment, intersection of sports and politics, and we got it at the U.S. Open on the women's side, tennis. And again, you know my position on this. The
What?
that Serena Williams and Djokovic should be playing in the same tournament. One U.S.
There you
Open.
go. Uh-huh.
One U.S. Open. I don't see gender. There's no reason to have women's and men's sports, including at the professional level. We'll see how Serena would do against your Roger Federer, against your Djokovic. Yeah. Okay. So she was up against this young woman, Osaka, who I guess Serena Williams is her hero. This Japanese Haitian tennis player, and she got into a bit of a row with the umpire, one Carlos Ramos.
Yeah, the cheer umpire.
Uh-huh.
And she called him a liar or a thief because he took a point away from her.
Right. So the issue is she was signaling with her coach,
Yeah,
and that's against the rules. And then when the penalties started being imposed, Serena Williams' rhetoric started escalating.
Every time I play here, I have problems. What? Yeah, that's a warning. I didn't get coaching. I didn't get coaching. You need to make an announcement that I didn't get coaching. I don't cheat. I didn't get coaching. How can you say that? You owe me an apology. You owe me an apology. I have never cheated in my life.
Uh-oh.
I have a daughter and I stand what's right for her and I've never cheated. And you owe me an apology.
Mama Bear's coming out.
And
Mama Bear just came out with the claws.
yeah, you owe me an apology. I have a 4-year-old daughter.
I've never cheated. Yeah, she's setting an example for her. So now she's
I
taking it personally.
Couldn't be less interested. What does that have to do with anything? She continued demanding an apology, also threatening the umpire.
It's wrong. You attacking my character. Yes, you are. You owe me an apology. You will never, ever, ever be on another court of mine as long as you live. You are the liar.
Oh.
Yeah. You don't decide that, honey, who your chair umpire is, okay?
And she persisted.
When are you going to give me my apology? You owe me an apology. Say it. Say you're sorry. Well, then don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
I'm not listening to you. I'm not
Put up the
listening to you.
hand. Don't even look my way.
Uh-huh. This is an impressive performance. And then after her abusive conduct, after her abusive conduct earned her a game penalty, then she had this to say, demanding the referee step in.
Are you kidding me? As I said, you're a thief because you stole a point from me. But I'm not a cheater. But you guys told you to apologize to me. This is out. Excuse me, I need the referee.
All right, so she goes to the referee, and then it gets even more political. Then
Yeah, because it's sexist. It's like, you're doing this to me. Men do this all the time, but yet I'm being fined.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Just if I could clarify something, was she playing against a woman?
Yes.
So I'm sorry. So how is it sexist?
And that's not right. This is not fair. This has happened to me too many times. This is not fair. This is not fair. But to give me a point to lose a game for what we're saying, that is not fair. I mean, it's really not. But you know how many other men do things that are, I don't think they do much worse than that. This is not fair. There's a lot of men out here that have said a lot of things, and because they're a man, that doesn't happen to them. Okay? No, I don't know the risk, because if I say a simple thing, a thief because he stole a point from me, that does not make there are men out here that do a lot worse, but because I'm a woman. Because I'm a woman, you're going to take this away from me? That is not right. You know it, and I know you can't admit it, but I know you know it's not right. I know you can't change it, but I'm just saying, that's not right. I get the rules. I get the rules, but I'm just saying it's not right.
The rules are sexist. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Sexist? Case of sexism here?
Was it sexist or was Serena Williams out of line? Yeah, for her in that position, she should have maintained more composure. I mean, she broke her racket. She got a $3,000 fine for that, $10,000 fine for the verbal abuse of the umpire chair, and $4,000 fine for being warned about coaching. Her coach was up in the stands and she was communicating back and forth. But I think that she needs to dial it back. But she's not. This has inspired her, Dan, to make change in case there's other women in the future who have to go through this.
I can't sit here and say I wouldn't say he's a thief because I thought he took a game from me, but I've seen other men call other umpires several things, and I'm here fighting for women's rights and for women's equality and for all kinds of stuff. And for me to say thief and for him to take a game, it made me feel like it was a sexist remark. I mean, like how he's never took a game from a man because they said thief. For me, it blows my mind. But I'm going to continue to fight for women and to fight for us to have equal. Like Courtney should be able to take her shirt off without getting a fine. Like this is outrageous, you know. And I just feel like the fact that I have to go through this is just an example for the next person
It's harrowing.
that has emotions and that want to express themselves and they want to be a strong woman, and they're going to be allowed to do that because of today. Maybe it didn't work out for me, but it's going to work out for the next person.
Yes. Oh, God. Oh, hey.
Standing ovation.
I'll tell you, it's so inspired. Are you inspired by Serena Williams fighting for women's rights to excoriate umpires in professional tennis?
I think she was being treated like a man. I mean, John
3-1.
McEnroe, when he'd have his temper tantrums, he was fined, and he'd slam rackets, and he'd go to the chair umpire and start screaming at him.
By the way, just, you know, I mean, I know the facts won't matter to this, you know, kind of all this identity politics nonsense that she's folding in because she knows it has an audience. This same umpire, Carlos Ramos, penalized Djokovic, the men's champion, number one player in the world on the men's side, for communicating with coaches recently. He also penalized Serena's sister Venus for it in 2016. So there's that. Martina Navratilova said, you know, another leftist, of course, said she agreed with Serena Williams' point, but she said it was the wrong forum and the wrong way in which to make that point. Billie Jean King.
Oh, yeah, she's rallying around her.
Yeah, she was more effusive in her praise of Serena. Yeah, here's the thing. It's not in dispute that signaling to your coach is, or your coach signaling to you is a violation of the rules.
There's rules in place for a reason. I mean, can you imagine it would be like this the whole time? You'd never watch the tennis match. There'd be coaching the whole time.
Well, Billie Jean King said it's a stupid rule. It should be eliminated. Okay, fine. I thought that not being able to play zone defense in the NBA was a stupid rule, too, and it was ultimately eliminated. But while it was in force, if you played zone defense, you got a warning, and then you got the other team got a technical shot. So that was a rule that was in force. So if you want to change rules, change them. That if you think they're stupid, or if the poobahs in women's tennis generally think they're stupid, but this, like, the rule's stupid, so I can violate it, then I can throw a temper tantrum, then I can call the guy a thief, then I can go into the histrionics of demanding an apology for an extended period of time and not suffer any consequences. Well, who the hell are you?
Is she so worried about her image and, you know, what her daughter's going to think, smashing a racket on the court? I mean, yeah. So a little more decorum.
She did this so that someday her daughter can grow up to throw a temper tantrum on the court at an umpire. And I mean, this is a women's rights issue.
I'm surprised they didn't bring race into it yet. But also another point of contention is calling him a thief. Is that a 4-letter word? No, she called him a thief, and she's maintained, like, I wasn't swearing at him because I called him a thief.
You will never be on another court of mine. You're the liar. I want an apology. Like she's talking to a child.
Right. And also, too, you don't decide who your umpire or your referee is in any game.
The point is that if that exchange would have happened between Steve Kerr and an NBA referee, teed up, thrown out of the game, that's what would have happened.
Go to the locker room, cool your heels.
I mean, or you know, Joe Madden comes out of the dugout and he has this extended harangue against an umpire, thrown out. Spare me. Honestly, spare me. She's behaved like a spoiled brat, just like men have behaved on the tennis court before. Of course, it's been a bygone era, and I'm sure present. I think I stopped watching men's tennis about
with Bjorn Borg.
I think no, when Vitas Gerulaitis passed away, I just couldn't watch anymore. So women's rights, and I'm fighting for women's rights. And you know what? I want you to go all the way to the other side, as I said. Let's make it completely equal, Serena, so we know. The only way we can know is if you have to face Federer and Nadal and Djokovic, and then we'll see how many trophies you take home. How about that? Eliminate gender-specific sports. Isn't that the enlightened thing to do?
You keep telling
in
me
the
it's coming
21st
our way,
century?
and I hope it's not coming our way.
I hope it is. Jordan in Forest Park.
Hey, good morning. I'm a big tennis fan, and I think what the problem with this whole thing was, for example, Chris Evert is the biggest Serena supporter of anybody out there. And when they showed the replay of what the coach did, Chris Evert immediately said, that's coaching. He's telling her to move up to the net. And that's exactly what she did in the subsequent points.
Well, also, Jordan, Serena's coach said he was signaling to her.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make, is the coach actually said it was coaching. Now, I think if I'm Serena's coach, I might start to update my resume, because I think that she might just throw him out the door because, it just completely conflicted with what she said, because she said, oh, no, that was just a thumbs-up gesture. So, I mean, she went ballistic, and she just kept going at him for, over and over. And she brought up the word cheat. Nobody brought up the word cheat.
Right.
The chair just said, that's coaching. She brought up the word cheat.
You're
now,
calling me a thief and this and that, yeah.
Right, yeah. So I mean, and she was concentrating on that, and then the other two things that happened, she's out. But you know what? She was outplayed for the match, and it was very clear. She got steamrolled basically in the first set. I mean, that was, Osaka was on fire, and Osaka was on fire for the most part in the second set. I don't think she would have won anyways. Osaka was just able to stay with her. Get really good shots.
Okay, Bud Collins, we got it, Jordan. Thanks for the call.
Even
we only have so much tolerance for
even
women's
after
tennis
she
talk.
smashed her racket, I mean, that cost her a point and a second code violation. So, she wasn't winning.
John in Lake Geneva.
Hi, didn't that whole episode just reek of roid rage?
I don't know. Thanks for the call, John.
Don't they do drug testing in tennis?
I don't know.
Do you get what he said, though? Roid rage? I don't know if people heard him. Instead of road rage.
What?
He said roid rage. Like she's on roids.
Yeah. What would road rage have to do with this story?
I thought at first he said road rage, but it's roid rage. Now I get it. It's early.
I feel like Carlos Ramos. I'm just baffled.
Are you going to give me a violation?
If you demand an apology, tell me I'll never.
You're a thief. You're never going to be on this
chair
court.
this microphone again. Greg in Schaumburg.
What's really tragic about when you listen to her logic is it's identical to the logic that women are advancing, not only in sports, but in religion and everywhere else. And what's even more tragic about that is the succulent men that are buying into it. Our society is being bastardized by this singular root cause analysis of multiple dependent cause reality, which is being simplified irresponsibly by the women's movement.
Thanks for the call, Greg. And now for the typical, race hustling, identity politics pandering. Philip in Blue Island.
Hi, Philip.
You are hilarious. Amy.
I know, I'm a riot.
Is Serena yeah, you are hilarious. Is Serena known for championships or for cheating? I mean, she has a stellar career of winning championships, but her cheating or anything of that nature is not a part of her.
Nobody said she was cheating.
ID.
Nobody said she was cheating.
No.
She said she was cheating. She violated the rules. I mean, when somebody, when somebody travels, are they cheating? No, they violated the rules. They have to turn the ball over. That's all.
But he interpreted it wrong. She said it was a thumbs up, and she's not known as a liar. So, I mean,
my
she has a
gosh.
long career.
Philip,
and for this one
Philip,
incident,
the
it was a
coach,
championship.
her coach conceded that he was communicating to her. It is not in doubt.
Okay, if he's communicating to her, if he say thumbs up, great job.
Philip,
just encouraging
Philip,
her.
I
That's
know,
communication.
Philip, I know everything with you is fact free because you have to shoehorn everything into race and gender identity politics. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing funny about it. It's your complete disinterest in facts that's actually laughable. And I'm not done because the coach said I was coaching her. Not I was signaling to her thumbs up, good job. I was coaching her. That's not in doubt. You're a hack. Later.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
Chicago has long been a hub of architectural innovation, and the future of Chicago building isn't stopping anytime soon. At Ozinga, we believe it's important to continue pushing the boundaries of the construction industry, but it can't be accomplished alone. Let's build this city with ingenuity, sustainability, and with heart. But more importantly, let's build this city together.
Welcome to Jimmy John's.
Hi, your new 9-grain wheat sub is so good. How do you make it?
With the highest quality ingredients and love. I mean, we definitely don't sing at lullabies when it's baking. Lullabies are what parents sing to babies.
Right.
And we don't use a baby carrier to carry the warm, fresh 9-grain wheat subs to the cooling racks. I mean, they're not babies. They're for making delicious sandwiches.
Okay, I'll take a turkey tom.
Oh, don't name them. It makes it harder.
Try our new 9-grain wheat sub, Jimmy John's. Wheat yeah, freak yeah.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Producing Quality Agitprop is a team effort, so it's nice to see the Democrat Socialists rally for the Obamas to help them consummate their $50 million Netflix production deal. The lineup really assembles itself. Cory Booker will star in a remake of Spartacus, only this time Spartacus is the wealthy senator, and he only thinks he's a slave. He runs around Capitol Hill yelling, "I am Spartacus," with no one else echoing the sentiment. Kamala Harris will play the lead in the spinoff How to Get Away with Murdering the Legal Canons. The Ripped from the Headline season premiere will feature a bizarre temper tantrum masquerading as an interrogation of a SCOTUS nominee. Rahm Emanuel is scheduled to reprise the role of Abby Lee Miller from the Lifetime hit Dance Moms. The Emanuel version will be entitled Tiny Dancer Moms. Chris and Andrew Cuomo will play conjoined twins in the long-awaited sequel to Stuck on You. Other shows under consideration: Brian Williams as a bomb tech in a remake of The Hurt Locker, Rachel Maddow as Katie Lang in the biopic Crying, and Elizabeth Warren as Henry Fonda playing Tom Joad in a stirring interpretation of John Steinbeck's Grapes of Wrath. It's a lineup that's binge and purge worthy.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Winston Churchill wisely stated, "A nation that forgets its past has no future." This surely resonates with at least one of our major political parties in America.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit AutomatedSYS.com.
My name is Dr. Jonathan Greenberg. Stop what you are doing, because what I'm about to say
will improve the quality of your life. ZYPPAH.com. That's ZPA. It's Happy Z spelled backwards. ZPA is designed to be comfortable, affordable, and effective at eliminating snoring. I want to help you stop snoring. Go to ZPA.com and order now. ZYPPAH.com. Snoring is a serious matter. ZPA will conquer your snoring problems. Go to ZPA.com and order now.
Results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. If you owe the IRS back taxes, payroll taxes, or have not filed your returns, the IRS will get you. They can take your property, take you to court, even put you in jail. With one call to Wall, you'll never need to talk to the IRS again. Our average client settles for about 10% of what is owed. We offer free face-to-face consultations in your local area. Call 800-727-0433. That's 800-727-0433.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Obama comes back to Illinois to offer his customary sophistry. We'll break it down at 6:06.
And later, Lost in Translation, and just in time for your work week. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures in the 80s all week. Sorry. Wish we could have a do-over for the weekend. Now let's get into the newsroom and say good Monday morning to the one and only Mike Scott.
Amy in Dan, a man dies after saving his grandson from a house fire. Former Evanston Mayor Lorraine Morton has died. Bears blow a big lead against the Packers at Lambeau. Cubs and Nationals wiped out because of rain. Sox blanked by the Halos. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Preparing for the worst along the Carolina coast. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Better be safe than sorry. Just getting everything ready, bringing everything inside.
He was also filling sandbags in North Charleston as Hurricane Florence barrels through the Atlantic, a Category 2 storm that could grow into a Cat 4 and hit the southeast coast Thursday or Friday.
The one thing I'm concerned with is if the storm slows down, that means the potential for catastrophic rain, in addition to storm surge, in addition to Category 3 or higher wind gusts.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean, the governors of North and South Carolina and Virginia have declared emergencies in advance. A white Dallas police officer is now charged with manslaughter for last week's shooting of a black man. Amber Geiger claims she went home after her shift and mistakenly went to the wrong apartment where she shot her neighbor. Anonymous remains anonymous, though not for a lack of looking, trying to find whatever Trump administration senior official wrote that New York Times op-ed critical of the president. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Vice President Mike Pence says he's 100% confident that no one on his staff wrote the op-ed, and he told Fox News Sunday the unnamed writer could be a threat to national security.
It's not just deceitful, but it's really an assault on our democracy, and that person should do the honorable thing, step forward and resign.
There's some speculation that Pence could be the senior administration official who wrote the piece because of the word lodestar, which he's been known to use. The vice president said he'd be willing to take a lie detector test to prove he's not the writer. Dave?
Rachel, the CEO at CBS has resigned. Les Moonves is out as 6 more women make sexual misconduct allegations, though he calls them untrue, from decades ago. Moonves will donate $20 million to organizations supporting the Me Too movement and equality for women in the workplace. There's a new Miss America. Nia Franklin from New York was crowned last night in the first Miss America pageant that did not feature a swimsuit competition. Fox News, fair and balanced.
This morning, fair skies. 58 degrees, 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. There is a beach hazard statement up, high waves and dangerous swimming conditions through this afternoon along all Lake Michigan beaches. Chicago grandfather is dead after throwing his grandson out a window to police to save him from a raging fire. Fire began Sunday afternoon inside of a home on South Avenue L. The officers caught that boy. He was hospitalized at Comer Children's Medical Center. Investigators say his condition is stable. The grandfather was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he later died. Attorneys are expected to begin questioning possible jurors in the trial of a Chicago police officer charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of Laquan McDonald in 2014. Dozens of prospective jurors in the trial of Jason Van Dyke filled out questionnaires last week. Van Dyke's attorneys say they don't believe he'll get a fair trial in the city of Chicago and have asked that the trial be moved. The judge says he wants to see how jury selection will go before making that decision. The city of Evanston's longest-serving chief executive is dead. Lorraine Morton died over the weekend. Morton was Evanston's first and only African-American mayor, serving 16 years after being elected in 1993. Attorney General Lisa Madigan joining counterparts from 7 states to sue the Interior Department for rolling back protections on waterfowl, songbirds, and other migratory birds. The lawsuit says the department reinterpreted a law to prohibit activities only when the intent is to kill birds. Madigan says the change may endanger millions of migratory birds that come through the state of Illinois. Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to the Packers and Aaron Rodgers and lost the season opener 24-23. Bears head coach Matt Nagy after the loss.
That's a tough one for us. It stings. I want our guys to feel that. They understand. I want our coaches to feel it. We talked about finishing, and we didn't do that. But I'll say this, I'm really proud of our team. I'm proud of our guys.
Cubs and Nationals wiped out by rain in D.C. Cubs only have a 2-game lead on the Brewers, and they'll meet Milwaukee next. White Sox lost to the Angels 1-0. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 6:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's a fact. Workman's compensation is a mandated and burdensome expense for businesses. You've heard business owners on this station discuss the impact of workers' comp on their bottom line. This burden continues to grow every year. It's important that your company identify the risks you face and do everything possible to minimize your exposure and expense. For over 3 decades, Marty Spiegel and Miles Cahill, recent AM 560 Food for the Poor business benefactors, have effectively defended workers' comp cases on behalf of businesses and insurance companies in both Illinois and Indiana. All of the attorneys at Spiegel and Cahill understand and are sympathetic to the real burden your company faces. They excel at helping you identify and minimize your risks. The Spiegel-Cahill team is committed to being responsive and managing all of your workers' comp costs. To learn more or request a no-obligation workman's comp consultation, call Spiegel and Cahill at 630-455-4070, 630-455-4070, or visit defendingbusinesses.com. That's defendingbusinesses.com.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent, and Salonpas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salonpas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salonpas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Ryan Siebert, CEO of SG Home Builders and a customer of Signature Bank. Over the last 10 years, my business pivoted multiple times to adjust to the fluctuations in the Chicago real estate market. Signature Bank's partnership with us and their ability to adapt to changes has allowed us to become a leading custom home builder. Signature Bank is a relationship-based business bank right here in Chicago, providing services and advice that address our unique situation, and they serve as a trusted consultant on what works best for my business. Signature Bank helped us build SG Home Builders while we were busy building dream homes for our clients.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you know that there are over 3.5 million truck drivers in the U.S. and 80% of America's communities rely on trucking for their deliveries? During National Truck Driver Appreciation Week, we thank these everyday heroes. Learn more at truckingmovesamerica.com.
It is 6:08, and let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Inbound Ryan traffic is jammed before 31st. The Burns Circle, the ramp to the outbound Eisenhower is still blocked due to a crash. It is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 5 at 15. I-57, 16 minutes, hiding to the merge. Bishopford 30. Bound Eden's okay, but the eastbound spur has stop-and-go traffic. Tri-State Tollway to Waukegan Road, that's due to construction. Kennedy inbound, it's 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 29. Delays starting for Foster. 190 is heavy as well at the airport on the westbound side. About Eisenhower. Delays start around Mannheim. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Madison Baggett.
Partly sunny and nice today, high 73. Clear this evening, low 56. Tuesday, mostly sunny and pleasant, high 78. Clear Tuesday evening, low 60. Another pleasant day for Wednesday, sunny and warm, high 81. I'm Madison Baggett on AM 560, The Answer.
58 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. President Obama, former President Obama, so concerned about the future of the Republican Party. And I mean, I appreciate his concern. I think it's fantastic.
He's worried about all of us.
Very concerned about the future of the Republican Party. So concerned he devoted an hour and 20-minute speech to it at U of I on Friday.
Yeah, what was he there for at U of I?
Paul Douglas Ethics and Government Award. The hilarity started there and just continued throughout his hour and 20-minute harangue. This is a guy, Ethics and Government, from for a guy who was
Emil Jones there handing him the award?
Yeah.
He was?
No,
oh,
but
okay.
Emil Jones, Emil Jones squired him around Springfield like a designer dog. You know, like Paris Hilton would hold those little cockapoos or whatever they're
called. A little
called.
purse dog, that's what we call it.
That's number one. He mostly exists in the state Senate to vote present. Yeah. That was the extent of his presence. And U of I conferring him an Ethics and Government Award, that's an august institution, the same one that has a convicted domestic terrorist felon named James Kilgore as a resident scholar at the university. And of course, U of I system employed Bill Ayers until he retired to live off of Illinois taxpayers with a handsome pension. Another domestic terrorist. So, boy, this is high praise. We should take this award very seriously, as we should these institutions. Barack Obama, though, very concerned about what he's saying. Basically, what you have here is just insert Trump for the rhetoric he would use during State of the Union speeches and on the campaign trail against Republicans for his 8 years, more like 10 years if you count campaigning for president and then actually being president. Barack Obama talking about those who seek to divide us.
More often it's manufactured by the powerful and the privileged who want to keep us divided and keep us angry and keep us cynical because that helps them maintain the status quo and keep their power and keep their privilege. And you happen to be coming of age during one of those moments. It did not start with Donald Trump. He is a symptom, not the cause. He's just capitalizing on resentments politicians have been fanning for years.
Resentments politicians have been fanning for years, like perhaps the speaker for the previous 8 prior to Trump's election. Would President Trump, would President Obama be considered a politician who fanned the flames of resentment and division? The guy who referred to people clinging to their guns and religion, is that fanning the flames of resentment and division? 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line. 646-360-A turnkey.pro text line.
What he did when I was watching the hour and 20-minute long speech, I was shocked because I did not. This is a total break from protocol. I mean, growing up, I never heard President Carter, when he was, after he was out of office, he didn't get up there and slam the Republican Party. He didn't go on tour. Last night, President Obama in California, he's going, I think, I don't know, but he's on tour because the midterms are less than 60 days away. But he made me feel bad, or he tried to make me feel bad, for being a Republican and for supporting President Trump.
What happened to the Republican Party? Its central organizing principle in foreign policy was the fight against communism, and now they're cozying up to the former head of the KGB. In a healthy democracy, there's some checks and balances on this kind of behavior, this kind of inconsistency.
Yeah.
But right now, there's nothing.
Yeah.
No, right now there's
I'm sorry, what was his hot mic moment with Medvedev, Putin's toady?
Yeah, wait until after the elections. I'll be able to help you out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something of that
And what is the substance of the record from the Trump administration in terms of sanctions and a tough posture towards Russia? Not to mention taking out a bunch of Russians in Syria, literally. So cozying up to Putin, why? Because he uses flowery rhetoric from time to time. I don't like it, but that's cozying up. There's, Obama is all about words, and he doesn't want you to judge his actions or the implications. And for me, with respect to Trump, as difficult as it is sometimes, I try to kind of get past the rhetoric and just look at behavior. I mean, ultimately, that's all I care about anyway. And isn't that really what we should care about? Somebody's behavior. Politicians bloviate on all kinds of topics and all kinds of ways to position themselves all the time. What matters is what you actually do. Are you acting in furtherance of what you said you would do, or are you acting in contravention of it? Are you being consistent, or are you being inconsistent? Are you advancing my interests and the interests of a free society, or are you inhibiting or negatively impacting those interests? But for Obama, it's all about words and projection of who he is onto other people.
Well, the thing is, too, I knew that the DNC, or the Democratic Party, would hit back against Trump and the Republicans because they're trying to take over the House. But I didn't think it would be President Obama who would be delivering the message. I thought it would be somebody else from the Democratic Party.
Do you understand what this speech was? I mean, do you understand it? This speech had two purposes, and they have nothing to do with Trump. If Obama is speaking, it is about a single person, Barack Obama. Barack Obama is trying to pick from the smoldering ruins of his administration and the successes of this one, talking about how, the recovery started.
Yeah, that's all him, yeah.
So he's trying to pick from the smoldering ruins of his administration's legacy and the successes of this one to give leftist historians something to hang their hat on so they can remember him how Obama remembers himself in the category of Lincoln. That's number one. And the second purpose of this speech was a make good with his party. Remember, Barack Obama turned the Democrat Party into a super minority party nationally. Now that there is something perhaps approaching a wave, certainly energy behind this anti-Trump movement and the opportunity for significant midterm pickups and perhaps control of the House, he wants to get in on that action so that that his legacy of turning his party into a super minority party can be erased, at least partly. This is about his interests in terms of his position in history and fodder he can give leftist historians to utilize for the continued myth-making, and his standing in the party so that he's not relegated to New England, Illinois, and California, and he can go in red states again. And that's really what this is, to my estimation. This has nothing to do with Trump. Trump is just a convenient whipping boy to serve Obama's political interests.
But I couldn't believe how cocky he was when he talked about the economy.
Cocky.
Oh, yeah.
So when you hear how great the economy is doing right now, let's just remember when this recovery started.
Yeah, he took credit. But President Trump, who was campaigning for congressional members in Fargo, North Dakota, he was quick-witted and fought back fairly quick.
I'm sorry I watched it, but I fell asleep. I found he's very good for sleeping. I think he was trying to take some credit. He was trying to take credit for this incredible thing that's happening to our country. If the Democrats got in, I have to say this to President Obama, and it wasn't him, but would have been the same thing. If the Democrats got in with their agenda in November of almost 2 years ago, instead of having 4.2 up, I believe honestly you'd have 4.2 down.
Yeah, and here's the other thing on the matter of executive overreach, and so we hear a lot about Trump's authoritarian impulses and his executive overreaches. Let's just remember what the record is. I know facts don't matter to the Obama acolytes and to those trained SEALs in the audience at U of I, but the Obama administration lost time and again with executive overreaches and federal government overreaches more generally. 44 unanimous losses during his term, including with being unable to garner support from his own nominees, Sotomayor and Kagan. From the range of topics: criminal procedure, religious liberty, property rights, immigration, securities regulation, tax law, separation of powers. The Cato Institute, Ilya Shapiro at Cato Institute had a nice rundown of it back just a couple of years ago. Loss after loss before the high court, overreaches with a predatory federal government and a imperious executive branch with President Obama there. So it's all the words, the high-minded rhetoric, anodyne as it is, and don't pay attention to anything I do. That's the flim-flammery of Obama, and a lot of people bought it and still do. Bruce in Bloomingdale.
102 times he said the word I in a speech that lasted 10 minutes. It tells you everything you need to know about the infestation of narcissistic personality disorder that the man has.
Thanks for the call, Bruce. Lee in Hammond.
Yeah, hi guys. I hope Obama keeps on the stump and keeps making speeches. You know, we need to get the swing voters energized for November. If we lose this thing, it'll be because we can't get the vote out. And every time he opens his mouth, all he does is remind us what 8 years of Obama was really like.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Lee. And you're right about getting the vote out. I mean, it is worth noting so far in the primary season of recent special elections, turnout among Democrats is up 78% compared to 14%. Republican turnout's also increased, but only by 23%. So, you know, this is what people mean when they say intensity matters, enthusiasm matters. Chip in St. Charles.
You know, Barack Obama said that he wanted to bring sanity back to politics, and I was wondering how he's going to do that when he doesn't even know what bathroom to use.
Thanks for the call, Chip. Here's the other thing. He, mentioned conspiracy theories that GOP embraced, like his birth certificate.
Yeah, he brought that up again.
And
said, Trump doesn't even stop Nazi enthusiasts.
But conspiracy theories, conspiracy theories, the GOP embraces birth certificate, and like those surrounding Benghazi.
Oh yeah. What was that about?
Chris Paranto, who is a CIA security contractor and he's a U.S. Army Ranger, he was in Benghazi when Islamic extremists overran that embassy and murdered Ambassador Stevens and the others. He tweeted a response to Barack Obama about Benghazi conspiracy theories. Quote, "Benghazi is a conspiracy, Barack Obama? How about we do this? Let's put your cowardly ass on top of a roof with 6 of your buddies and shoot RPGs and AK-47s at you while terrorists lob 81mm mortars, killing 2 of your buddies, all while waiting for U.S. support that you never sent. Hashtag scum.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you ever seen what really goes on in your caterer's or favorite restaurant's kitchen? What does the kitchen look like? How big is the operation? And maybe most importantly, who's cooking my meal? When you cater with Tasty Catering, you get more than quality food and event planning. You get an invitation to see what goes on throughout our entire building, including our kitchen. We call it our open kitchen door policy. Come see for yourself why we are so proud of what we do, and gain the peace of mind that comes with knowing the who's, the what's, the where's, and the how's of the way we prepare your food. Visit tastycatering.com for more information, or contact a Tasty Catering sales representative and set up a time to come meet with us at our home. You can't put a price on peace of mind, but if you had to, all it takes is one visit. Call 847-593-2000, 847-593-2000, or start your visit through our open doors at tastycatering.com.
Coming up at 6:36, who wants to be we have a new person who wants to be the next mayor of Chicago. We'll discuss that. But first, hey, don't you love fall and sleeping with open windows? But are you really sleeping as well as you could? If not, then you should take part in the MyPillow buy one, get one free offer. It's back for September. And if you haven't bought your MyPillows yet, here's your chance to get one for yourself, for a loved one, for your husband, or maybe to give someone as a gift. And I love that I can move the fill to get the support I need regardless of my sleep position. I never, ever wake up with a stiff neck or headache. MyPillow is made in America, washable, dryable. Wash them once a month. They're hypoallergenic, and they have a 10-year warranty plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. So go online or call now for this great buy one, get one free deal. You can also get 30% off everything else in the store. My mom this weekend purchased a queen-size set of the MyPillow sheets and pillowcases. There's also 30% off the pet beds that Bunky loves, luxury, those cotton sheets, and more. Find it all at MyPillow.com. And when you check out, use the promo code Amy for 30% off everything, your entire order. Or simply call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Tell them Amy sent you.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My husband's blood pressure has dropped 30 points. I've lost 8 pounds. He's lost about 20 pounds. His arthritis is gone. You guys have given me back my husband. I'd come home from work, and if he beat me home from work, he would be laying in the recliner, and I would feed him supper in his recliner and would be like really boring, pathetic old people watching TV while we ate dinner and then go to bed exhausted and wake up tired. I came home from work last night, and he was mowing the lawn. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so amazing.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Illinois property taxes punish the most vulnerable the most, like widow Mary Pay.
They just keep on going up and up. So that means my mortgage payment goes up, and it's kind of hard. What are they doing for us? Nothing.
66-year-old Chicago resident Linda J. had to take a second job just to pay her property taxes.
Mine is $7,000 a year. If I wasn't still working, I'd be screwed. Even at retirement age, I'm getting my Social Security, but I still have to work, and I'm working 2 jobs.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people, taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbor's stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, you remember Kirk Heinrich?
Yeah, he played for the Bulls.
Yeah, Kansas Star. Had a good career in the NBA. He retired last year. He may have to start playing again after the hammering he took trying to get out from underneath his home in Bannockburn. He moved his family to Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Oh, that town is beautiful.
Yeah, he's
Everyone should check it
from
out.
Sioux City, Iowa. But yeah, Sioux Falls, that's growing too. I'm sure more and more Chicagoans. So this Bannockburn estate.
Mm-hmm. Give me the details.
8 1/3 baths, 6-car garage, resort-like swimming pool.
Third of a bath?
Fully stocked fishing pond on 6 acres.
Nice.
He bought the home in 2007 for $5.35 million real dollars. He sold it on August 30th.
Oh my gosh! For how much?
Guess.
$5 million.
You haven't been paying attention to our property
No,
tax
but
segment.
that's a. I mean, if you have a stocked pond in your backyard, 8.5 bath, sounds like a beautiful place. Bannockburn's gorgeous.
It would be a beautiful place if it was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but it's in Bannockburn, Illinois, in Lake County. $5.35 million real dollars, June of 2007. Sold it August 30th for $2.75. During the time he owned that home, a decade, he paid $750,000 in property taxes. So he lost more than $3 million on his property in Bannockburn. Now, Kirk Heinrich can weather it, of course.
Yeah,
Big
no, but
contracts.
still, that's rape. I mean, that is. Oh boy, that's a kind of aggressive for a Monday morning. I mean,
Financial
rape. That's what I meant.
I mean, this is the point. I don't know how to drive this into people's skulls, and I don't know how many more people we need to enlist as ambassadors for this. There is no escape. I don't care if you're Kirk Heinrich, worth tens of millions of dollars, or you're a workaday Joe trying to get out from underneath a home that's median price, couple $100,000, $250,000. Or you're somebody who's trying to enter the home ownership ranks so you can build wealth and drop roots. You can't make an investment in property in this state make sense, period, full stop, until and unless we change the property tax system. It is confiscatory. It is a government taking. And here's the bottom line for November 6th and beyond. You either start to force the people in charge out, or they will force you out. That will happen.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of them, those people, we'll talk about those people running for mayor of Chicago, including Queen Sugar, who announces today at 6:36.
And later, President Trump wants Sessions in the Department of Justice to investigate who the leaker is. And Moonves is out at CBS, but he quit. He wasn't fired. Why? That's a problem. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Right now, gray skies. We had a fair start to the morning, but clouds have rolled in on what essentially should be a sunny day. 58 degrees, and a beach hazard statement is up. High waves and dangerous swim conditions will continue along Lake Michigan beaches throughout the morning. And forecasters say Hurricane Florence will become a major storm later today. Florence is already generating swells along parts of the East Coast. Republican Senator Ben Sasse says the current White House causes him to regularly consider leaving all political parties behind.
Frankly, neither of these parties have a long-term vision for the future of the country.
CNN State of the Union had Sasse on as a guest, and the Nebraska freshman says neither party can help right now. Dallas police officer is charged with manslaughter after shooting and killing an African-American man in his own apartment. Amber Geiger was arrested for the killing of 26-year-old Botham Jean. She claims she thought she was entering her own home last Thursday when she encountered the man. Former CBS CEO Les Moonves says he's deeply saddened to be leaving the company following accusations of sexual misconduct. More than a dozen women have accused Moonves of misconduct, 6 whose claims came to light over the weekend. Ford is countering President Trump's assertion that tariffs on China will lead their car company to build its Focus active crossover hatchback in the U.S. The president tweeted out yesterday that Ford had halted plans to sell the Chinese-made vehicle in the U.S. because of tariffs, and the car would now be built here. Ford is putting up the stop sign on that assertion. Chicago grandfather is dead after throwing his son out of a window to save him from a raging house fire. It broke out Sunday afternoon at a home in Chicago's East Side neighborhood on Avenue L. Officers caught that boy. He's been hospitalized at Comer Children's Hospital. The grandfather was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center, where he later died. Attorneys are expected to start questioning possible jurors in the trial of a Chicago police officer charged with first-degree murder in the 2014 shooting death of black teen Laquan McDonald. Jason Van Dyke's attorneys say they do not believe he will get a fair trial in Chicago and are asking that it be moved from the city. Judge says he wants to see how jury selection goes this week before making a decision. The Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to Aaron Rodgers, lost 24-23 in the season opener at Lambeau. Cubs and Nationals wiped out because of rain. Cubs and Brewers tonight. Cubs only hold a 2-game lead on top of the NL Central over the Brew Crew. White Sox lost to the Angels 1-0 on the South Side. The News, a service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Mothers Against Drunk Driving supports victims of drunk driving, drug driving, and underage drinking at no charge. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MAD-HELP, mad.org, MADD.org. 6:34 is our time, and we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicagoland's retirement expert, on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated and by healthinsurancementors.com.
The players are fired up. The coaches are prepared for battle. The student section is rumbling. The band is ready to rock. And you're ready for victory.
Touchdown, Northern Illinois!
Every game, every victory is right here on the Husky Sports Network.
It's the Huskies against the Central Michigan Chippewas. This Saturday afternoon at 2:30 in IU football is on AM 560. The Answer.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1-HOUR.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle, and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
6:37. Let's get an update on the roads now. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Eastbound Edensburg, traffic's heavy. Tri-State to Waukegan Road. The Edens runs 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 40 minutes now. Hare to downtown, 18 from Montrose, 14 on the Express. Outbound 40 to O'Hare. Westbound 190, as well. Inbound Eisenhower, you get 47 minutes, 390 to downtown. 34 from Manheim. Outbound 35 minutes for 390. Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 36. Bryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, side east to the merge. Bishop Ford, 25. Northbound Tri-State, it's slow, 95th to 87th. Reagan Tollway to North Avenue with Bensonville Bridge to Balmoral. Southbound 53 delays. Kirchhoff to Higgins. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny and nice later today, high 74, clear skies and 56 overnight. Currently 58. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by AM Woodland Outdoor Design, luxury outdoor living. amwoodland.com.
Tickets for Freedom Summit Chicago are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You ready for the bullet tax in Chicago? Remember, that's one of Tony Preckwinkle's great ideas at the county. Tax bullets, tax ammo. That's a way to increase the peace on the streets. I'll tell you what's not a way. Install one of your proteges, Kim Foxx, in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. That's a catastrophe.
Hey.
All you have to do is ask anybody who works there, in addition to the results that we see with respect to prosecutions and sentencing. But okay. Over the weekend, SEIU, the Purple People Beaters,
How are those guys doing?
one of the unions that recruited Tony Preckwinkle into the race for mayor after Tiny Dancer's announcement last week. They commissioned a survey by Public Policy Polling. So this is like home cooking numbers, okay? And they wouldn't release this if they didn't think that this was something to wave around for their girl. Well, they find that Preckwinkle leads the field, the prospective field, with 25% of the vote. Undecided is 19%. Vallis is third at 16%. McCarthy is fourth at 13%. Willie Wilson fifth with 10%. Now, it is important to note several candidates that may get in were not included in the poll. El Gallito, Chewy, Bill Daley. Bill Daley, I understand, is going to get in. Also Jerry Joyce Jr. But I mean, 25 to 19 to 16 to 13, that's not a prohibitive favorite. I'm a little surprised that it's that close, it's that bunched up, it's that competitive. I thought Preckwinkle would be a bigger favorite than she actually is. If I was SEIU, I would have never released this. What this tells me is that Preckwinkle is absolutely vulnerable. She's not the clear and away front runner. She's not necessarily the next mayor whatsoever, if that's where she stands now.
Well, people don't find courage and leadership in somebody who decided after the incumbent dropped out then to run for mayor of Chicago. People don't respect that. And I have to tell you, she's not doing it. She's not banging it up. She's not knocking it down over there as Cook County Board President. People still have resentment about the sugar tax, and she's just not a leader.
Sugar tax, bullet tax.
What else?
All property tax.
Oh,
Also,
sales
she,
tax.
right after she campaigned against Todd Stroger on the sales tax increase, she reinstituted it.
Right. Remember that? The penny tax, that took it away and then brought it in again. She lied to the people of Cook County. So why would we, I don't know, why would anybody back her?
Maybe there's also, I mean, she's not a particularly attractive candidate. She's not a particularly warm candidate. I mean, she doesn't have, overwhelming charisma.
No.
So it's not like there's a lot of cult of personality. There's a cult of personality around the public sector unions and distributing jobs and pension benefits that you can't finance. I get that, but that's not quite the same thing. And I think, don't forget, Chicago is more culturally conservative than certainly New York or LA. So the idea of going full de Blasio in this city, go full Sandinista, I think is going to be met with some resistance. There's a lot of people who understand who Tony Preckwinkle is. She didn't just show up on the scene. She's been a wholly owned subsidiary of the public sector unions for the 2 decades she sat on the city council as an alderman from Hyde Park, and now her 2 terms as Cook County Board President that are rather unremarkable, as are the terms of every Chicago Democrat who's been in office for any extended period of time in our lifetimes. I think, look, in terms of the potential field, as well as the field that actually exists at this point, it will probably increase this week, starting with Preckwinkle. I got to say, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the only sane person, the only person that I think actually would represent something approaching system change with all of the civic institutions in Chicago that are crumbling, none of which is financeable in its current form, is Vallis.
I agree 100%.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
And what I want to know, if she makes her big announcement today, if I'm a reporter sitting in the front row, this is what I'm asking her. Why now? Why did you have to wait for Rahm Emanuel to drop out in order to come forward? What does he have on you that if you decided to run while he was still running, what does he have on you? I want to know. Because he had something on her. You know he did, because if she really wanted to run, she would have been out there 6 months ago, like everybody else.
Well, one of the things you also have to remember is that Preckwinkle's never really had a race.
Oh, cool. Well,
I mean, taking out Todd Stroger in a primary.
She beat Urkel. Woo.
Right. So she's
I was with her and her husband that night. They let me go behind the scenes and go to their hotel room, and I got to meet Zeus.
Zeus? Yeah. Zeus Preckwinkle.
Yeah.
Sorry that didn't work out.
No, it didn't work out.
Yeah,
but yes,
but I mean, she's never really had a race, and my sense is that she thinks this is going to be a coronation, that she thinks she'll overwhelm the field. She has the muscle of the public sector unions. She'll probably get the socialist Latino crowd like Chuy and El Gallito. I don't know that they make the race. So she probably figures that this coalition will get stitched together by the public sector unions for her benefit, and she can just don her Statue of Liberty garb and walk in parades, and that'll be sufficient. I think she didn't want to take on Rahm 4 years ago when she was in a much stronger position, and she doesn't want to take on Rahm now.
Why?
Because it's work. Because Rahm is cutthroat. Because whatever they have and whatever they can produce, it will be intense, and there's a lot of money behind it. The other candidates right now, that could change now that the race has opened up a bit, don't have the resources to carpet bomb her like Rahm could have.
And Rahm has personal information on her, on her home life that I think he would use against her.
Well, whatever. The point is you're facing a water cannon, and right now, with respect to the other candidates, you're facing a squirt gun. And she sees this as path of least resistance, and that's what she cares about, path of least resistance. And obviously, mayor, he has a lot more standing and consequence than is Cook County Board president.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I heard too that Tony Preckwinkle was handpicked by Mike Madigan so that he could control the school system, and he could run Chicago too, because he already runs the governor's office. I mean, our governor even admitted, I don't have the power here. Mike Madigan does, and that he wants Tony Preckwinkle convinced SEIU to get her to run because then he'll be the
whichever
master.
Democrat operative you're talking to doesn't know what they're talking about, so you should stop
right
talking
about
to
Bill
that person.
Daley, right? I mean, don't you think he's gonna jump into the race?
Well, yeah, but that wasn't his prediction.
Well, that was one of the.
What was his other prediction?
Okay, fine. He was wrong. The other prediction was that Mayor Emanuel would run for president or possibly be the VP on the Biden ticket.
Yeah, and we have a bet on that.
Right. How much did we bet? My
$100,000 or something.
My used minivan out there.
This just related piece in the New York Times from Natalie Moore. She's a reporter over at BEZ. Talking about what this election could be about. Chicago's one of the most segregated cities in the United States. Yeah. It's a fact that is treated by too many here as a footnote or a quirky characteristic. Segregation gets ignored because it's accepted, but segregation is intentional, and dismantling it must be too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Natalie, Miss Moore, who's been in charge of Chicago for 100 years.
I know. Wake up.
If it's been intentional, then it's been intentional at whose hands? Conservative Republicans? you've got a lot of long-serving black elected officials, including Preckwinkle. What have they done to break down the walls of segregation? What has CTU done to live up to the promise of Brown v. Board of Education, Miss Moore? I love the paeans to integration and extended opportunity where there isn't any, and extended safety where public safety is limited. And no accountability, no assignment of responsibility to who's been in charge. You want to know why Chicago is the most segregated city in the country? You want to know why Chicago is effectively the murder capital of the country for a major city? Twice the murder rate of LA and New York combined. You want to know why?
Why?
Because people don't hold people in charge accountable. That's why. Natalie, they talk about these issues. They just continue to talk about them and talk about them and talk about them. But the people in charge are never responsible. It's Trump's fault, right? Mike on the north side.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. First off, if it's a segregated city, it's segregated economically. So the people at the bottom don't have the mobility. The people on welfare don't have the mobility. Whose fault is that? Second of all, if you think Toni Preckwinkle is a bad county board president, she's somewhat limited in her tax raising schemes as county board president. If she becomes mayor with home rule powers, it's, Katie bar the door, turn the lights out, we're Detroit.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A Missouri college kicks Nike to the curb. Wages surging at the fastest rate in 9 years. And the Fed may be poised to raise interest rates once again. Those stories next.
Good news. You are not stuck with your health care plan. Really. You have a choice, and it's a great one. It's called Medi-Share, and if you've heard about it and wondered what exactly it is, it's a way that people share their health care bills. And these are people who have a common faith, who want to be part of something beautiful that not only meets their healthcare needs, but the needs of others too. And it's people who love to save money big time. Medi-Share members typically save $500 a month per family on their healthcare costs. That is a life changer for people. So this could be for you. Maybe it's what you've been looking for, a way to pay healthcare bills that's not only very smart financially, but it's even profound. Medi-Share is a nonprofit with 400,000 members nationwide who pray for and share with each other. So yes, you're not stuck. There's another way, and it could save you a lot. Find out more. Call 855-41-BIBLE. That's 855-41-BIBLE. 855-41-BIBLE.
Lost in the euphoria over last Friday's jobs news, the fact that wages are surging at the fastest rate in 9 years. One economist called this the strongest job market in a generation. Rising wage and jobs data will make it a near certainty that the Federal Reserve will have to raise short-term interest rates again when members gather in Washington later this month. Fed watchers expect yet another rate hike in December, possibly 2 more next year. Nike's decision to endorse national anthem protester Colin Kaepernick just costed a college in Missouri, the College of the Ozarks, a private Christian school, removing all uniforms with the Nike logo. The college president says if Nike is ashamed of America, we are ashamed of them. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Picture your son in 10 years. What kind of man do you hope to see? I know you want your son to be a man of character, so I urge you to consider Northridge Prep, the #1 all-boys school in Illinois for 2 years running. They'll miss their fall open house on Sunday, October 21st. Northridge Prep is an independent Catholic school for boys, grades 6 through 12, located in Niles. There's no brainwashing that's prevalent elsewhere. They instill the traditional values that you hold as parents. Northridge Prep is all boys with an all-male faculty. They celebrate your son's natural enthusiasm and energy. It's a good place to be a boy. Every teacher is a great role model who get to the hearts of their students. Their demanding liberal arts curriculum produces well-rounded men with the ability to think for themselves. Grads go on to the best universities, including the Ivy League, have top athletics and arts programs. I strongly encourage you to attend Northridge Prep's open house on October 21st. To learn more, visit northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
With the recent rains and wet weather, Permaseal is working very hard to help every homeowner in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. But we need your help. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal Basement Systems. We're hiring in all departments, especially sales, customer service, and installation. We're looking for people with a great work ethic, who have ambition, a positive attitude, want to learn new skills, and have a desire to make the world a better place. Sound like you? Then go to permaseal.net/careers to apply today. No experience needed. We will teach you to become an expert in waterproofing and foundation repairs. Even if you're not presently looking for another job, I'd encourage you to consider working for Permaseal. We offer great training, year-round work, tremendous growth opportunities, and a great, fun work environment. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers. If you're looking for a career change or a dry basement, you know who to call. Permaseal. 800-421-7325 or go to permaseal.net.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we were on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is here, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, speaking of campaigns, as we're a couple of months out from the big day, boy, you think this is a smart move or an act of desperation? Bruce Rauner, the former governor, still campaigning. Nobody's told him. He's got his wife Diana now featured in his most recent ad because, going to make that appeal to suburban women who also want to be forced to pay for other people's abortions, apparently. Diana Rauner making the case.
I'm Diana Rauner. Bruce ran for governor to try to save our state. It hasn't been easy, but nothing important ever is. Bruce took on the big problems: education funding reform, Medicaid reform, criminal justice reform. He stopped the insanity and delivered. But 40 years of mismanagement can't be turned around in 4 years. This election is a choice. Do we keep moving towards reform or go back to the status quo that got us into this mess?
Hilarious.
Oh, my God. That's when you bring out the wife, could be a problem. I guess, we're 60 days out?
Cliches.
He took on the big problems for you, the people, because he cares. I'm Diana Ross.
That wasn't the value proposition either. I mean, it's very much recasting things the way that the left would, because he's been an abject failure. So what he promised, what the value prop was, hey, if I don't get things on the road to recovery after one term, I'm not running again.
Right.
Because I don't need this, because I'm not a politician. Boy, sure sounds like he's a politician. And I know that Diana Ronner is a politician. And they're professional liars. And there is no credibility on any of those items that she refers to generically, because she can't refer to them specifically, because there is no record of accomplishment. There's a record of exacerbating all the problems and surrendering to cultural Marxists at every turn. That's the record. That's why Bruce Rauner is an anchor around the neck of every Republican in this state. And just remember, we'll see what comes to pass, but I've been saying it since like last year this time, after he surrendered on taxes and everything else, that you had a choice, or I predicted you would have a choice. You did have a choice. The Republican Party did. The state did. And you chose to stick with the status quo that Diana Ronner is talking about. There are consequences to that, and they're going to be visited upon us on November 6th.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk Andy McCarthy and Where's the Crime, Mr. Rosenstein, at 7:07.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
A beach hazard statement is up. Former Evanston Mayor Lorraine Morton dies. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Here comes Florence. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A hurricane that may hit the Carolina coast and or Virginia Thursday or Friday.
All indications are that Florence will be a significant, powerful hurricane, a major hurricane, something like Category 3 or 4.
John Cangelosi at the National Hurricane Center. Florence is already at Cat 2 and will get stronger today. So people are already filling sandbags, getting ready.
Setting up sandbags is not a guarantee to save your home from flooding. So it's very important that you know your evacuation zone.
Mario Formisano is Emergency Management Director for Dorchester County in South Carolina. There are 2 other hurricanes farther out in the Atlantic. Isaac could be a threat in the Caribbean. President Trump has just tweeted the Bob Woodward book is a joke, another assault against him. The famed reporters inside the White House expose details chaos and quotes senior officials calling the president an idiot and a liar. The Trump tweet claims many sources have come forward to call their quotes fiction. He ends it with, "I'll write the real book." This amid the search for whoever wrote that anonymous New York Times op-ed critical of the president. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Vice President Mike Pence says he's willing to take a lie detector test and a heartbeat to prove he's not the one who wrote the op-ed. Pence called the piece an assault on our democracy, and he told Fox News Sunday the person who wrote it should do the honorable thing and step down.
The opinions that they expressed are not only deceitful and false, but they're also un-American.
The vice president says it's up to President Trump to decide if administration officials should undergo polygraph testing to find the writer. Dave?
Rachel, CBS needs a new CEO. Les Moonves resigned last night as sexual misconduct allegations surfaced from 6 more women, though Moonves calls them untrue.
The amount of money he will receive from CBS will depend on the findings of an internal investigation underway by law firms hired by CBS.
Fox's Brian Yanis. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
This morning we have gray skies, 58 degrees. Sunshine will come out a little later on today. It's 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A beach hazard statement is up. High waves and dangerous swim conditions through the afternoon. 2 are dead, 19 others hurt after a weekend of gun violence in Chicago. 1 person was shot Friday evening, 8 shot Saturday, 12 more on Sunday. After Mayor Rahm Emanuel's surprise announcement that he would not seek a 3rd term in office, Chicago residents are beginning to choose up sides and candidates to replace him. In a brand new poll conducted by Public Policy Polling, Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle leads the field with 25% of the vote. Only 600 registered voters were polled. 19% right now say they're undecided. Paul Vallis third in that poll at 16%. Chicago grandfather is dead after throwing his grandson out a window to save his life. Blaze broke out Sunday afternoon at a home on South Avenue L in the East Side neighborhood. Officers caught that boy. He was rushed to Comer Children's Hospital this morning. His condition is stable. The grandfather was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he later died. At least one person is hurt in an officer-involved shooting at a suburban Burger King. The shooting happened around 9 p.m. Sunday at a fast food restaurant located along Lake Street in Maywood. Police say a man, possibly armed, tried to rob that fast food restaurant. He was shot by police. His condition right now is unknown. Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to Aaron Rodgers. Lost 24-23 in the season opener at Green Bay. Rodgers returning after a first-half knee injury. Bears quarterback Mitchell Trubisky had a nice debut for this season, saying there's stuff the offense can clean up.
We moved the ball early, and we moved the ball throughout the game. We just weren't finishing in the red zone and finishing in critical times. So just got to go back to work this week and figure it out and go back to the film and see what mistakes were made. But it feels good when you're moving the ball, and obviously it feels bad when you're not.
Khalil Mack ran back a pick for a score for the Bears, who blew a 20-0 lead at Lambeau. Cubs and Nationals wiped out by rain. They'll host the Brewers tonight with only a 2-game lead on Milwaukee. White Sox lost to the Angels 1-0. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicagoland's retirement expert, on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Charles Equipment Energy Systems and by The Income Store.
Dr. Bob Arnott for Salonpas.
I'm training for the world's most grueling paddleboard race. 32 miles of open ocean, high winds and surf. Naturally, I get a lot of muscle pain. 50 years in medicine has taught me what to look for in a pain reliever. Powerful, targeted, non-addictive, and available without a prescription. I found it in Salonpas Lidocaine Plus. It has 2 powerful anesthetics that numb nerves right where it hurts. Salonpas gives me relief.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Larry Nora, founder and CEO of U-Store-It, a network of award-winning self-storage facilities in the Chicago area, and a customer of Signature Bank. We've developed over 70 storage centers throughout the city and suburbs, and our business continues to grow. We need a bank who understands the neighborhoods and communities where we are making investments. We found that in Signature Bank. They know this city and its neighborhoods because they are based right here in Chicago. Finding a local banking institution like Signature Bank has been critical to the success of U-Store-It, and we look forward to a long-term relationship.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
7:07, a check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Southbound 53, traffic's heavy. Palatine Road to Higgins due to the ongoing construction. Veterans Memorial Tollway northbound it's slow. Mountain Toll to Butterfield. Tri-State southbound side, Balmoral to Irving Park. Northbound Southwest Highway, 83rd Street toll. The Stevenson to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to 190. Eastbound Adams Tollway still Manheim out to the Kennedy. Those delays continue all the way downtown. 56 minutes O'Hare to the Circle. 28 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Eden's 28 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound it's 22. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 41. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 40. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy. Fullerton to North Avenue. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Madison Baggett.
Partly sunny and nice today, high 73. Clear this evening, low 56. Another pleasant day for Tuesday, mostly sunny, high 78. Tuesday evening, clear, low 60. And then for Wednesday, sunny and warm, high 81. I'm Madison Baggett on AM 560, The Answer.
58 at O'Hare, next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by On Target Radio. From firearms and Second Amendment rights to personal freedoms and government intrusions. Listen here Sunday nights at 9.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Lindsey Graham had an interesting theory on the New York Times op-ed, connecting it to the Mueller investigation. Listen to the senator.
This op-ed piece about the personality of the president, suggesting that he's unhinged and he is incapable of being a good president without being minded, tells me a lot about the Mueller investigation. This, to me, is a signal that if there's nothing there with Russia in terms of the president working with the Russians during his campaign, the next line of attack is the man is unfit for office, he's crazy.
Now we're back to the 25th Amendment case, and of course you have the Bob Woodward book to help buoy that case, at least in D.C. press corps circles. Interesting theory from Graham. Of course, now that runs counter to that big scalp that Mueller got on Friday with George Papadopoulos getting that 14-day prison sentence for lying to the FBI. Wow.
Whoa, that's a big one.
Yeah, they knocked me over with a feather. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Andy McCarthy, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, contributing editor, National Review, now nationalreview.com. He's written on both of the topics, the Mueller investigation as well as the op-ed. Andy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Dan, Amy, I stayed up and watched Aaron Rodgers last night, so my sympathies to you folks.
Yeah, he's the X Factor. Yeah, he's.
He was never really out, was he?
Yeah, it's Cinderella story from out of nowhere.
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
There was collusion. Yeah, the medical tent.
So what do you make of Lindsey Graham's supposition that there's nothing there with Russia, despite the Papadopoulos plea and sentence, and so it's all going to be 25th Amendment unfit for office rhetoric from Democrats?
Well, I about 75% agree with him, and he is making a point I try to make in my weekend column about questioning Mr. Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, about exactly what crime it is that Trump is alleged to have committed or is under investigation for, since that's supposed to be the trigger of any investigation. There's supposed to be a crime first, and then you get a prosecutor. The reason I say I only 3/4 agree with Senator Graham, or at least what's been reported about it, is I don't think that this goes to the 25th Amendment. I think the departure from the way that investigations are normally done goes to impeachment. And what I mean by that is I expect that because Mueller has not had to investigate based on a crime, that is, that the boundaries of his investigation have not been what the normal boundaries are, what the regulations require, which is the factual basis to believe a crime was committed. I believe what he will file is a report that doesn't find any prosecutable crimes, but has a lot of information in it that's unflattering of the president, erratic judgment, bringing people of questionable character and Russia connections into his campaign, et cetera, et cetera. And I think the point of that will be twofold. One will be to defend the FBI and the Justice Department for having had a rational basis to investigate, even if there was no probable cause of a crime. And secondly, I think, he can put that all in a report, and then once the Democrats win the midterms, if they do, the Congress does not need a crime, a prosecutable crime, in order to file articles of impeachment. So if there's enough unflattering information that they can inflate into high crimes and misdemeanors, they'll use it for that purpose.
Yeah, but what you're saying,
why I think
what you're suggesting is just that he would write up a report that sounds like the Woodward book.
Well, the point, Dan, is that he's not supposed to be able to do that. My point in the column over the weekend is he is not counsel for a congressional impeachment committee. He's a federal prosecutor, which means his only job is to decide whether there's sufficient evidence to proceed on criminal offenses or to decline criminal offenses. That's what the regulations say. And my point is, because Rosenstein has not limited him to criminal offenses, he's at liberty, it seems, to write a report on exactly that, a kind of a here's my impression of the president's fitness for office book. And in the meantime, the president's fitness for office is a very important issue, but it's an issue for the public and the Congress. It's not an issue for a federal prosecutor.
So what does it mean now that the former Trump advisor, George Papadopoulos, has been sentenced to 14 days behind bars?
Seems to me that Mrs. Clinton said that she didn't know what C meant in classified documents. That ought to be worth at least 15 days.
I mean, is it going to affect the
No,
investigation?
I mean, look, it goes to show. We were told, Amy, months ago that this was the big nugget that launched the investigation to end all investigations, right? The Papadopoulos angle. And what this demonstrates, it really just underscores what we already knew, which was this guy was never, ever charged with anything remotely connected to a conspiracy crime having to do with cyber espionage with Russia. And if you look at the lie that he was prosecuted for, it's chump change. I mean, basically, he lied about the timing of a conversation because, in the eyes of Mueller, the fact that he had the conversation with this Maltese academic, Mifsud, after he was in the Trump campaign versus just before he was in the Trump campaign, and there was a little gray area about when exactly he joined the Trump campaign, that was a material fact, and the fact that he was misleading about it was the crime of the century. Well, now we see the crime of the century is worth 2 weeks.
Yeah, I want to go back to your piece over the weekend, Mr. Rosenstein, where what is the crime? And you write, what's the legal basis for his special counsel investigation? We have a right to know. It is intolerable that after more than 2 years of digging, we still do not have an answer to that simple question. So if you were part of President Trump's legal team, would you be advising him to stop tweeting about Jeff Sessions and whistle Rosenstein in for an answer to that question and make that answer public, or demand publicly that he answer that question if he resists?
I would have stopped long ago tweeting about Sessions. And by the way, I think there's a lot more going on at the Justice Department than people seem to think. So, the fact that you're not hearing about a lot of investigative activity, folks, that means that the Justice Department is functioning the way it's supposed to, which is that you don't hear anything until they're ready to charge somebody. Mm-hmm. But putting that aside, the president's kind of ridiculous jihad against his attorney general, I do think that the public deserves an answer after 2 years of the pressing question of why do we have this investigation, namely, what is the crime? And I expect that the reason we don't get that answer is twofold. Number one, there is no crime. they've been using the pretext of the Russia counterintelligence investigation, that is the investigation of Russia's interference in the election, which nobody disputes that they need to do, as a cover to investigate Trump criminally, even though there's no crime. So I think they don't want to come out and say that. Secondly, if you remember, on August 2nd, 2017, Rosenstein amplified Mueller's jurisdiction in this secret memorandum, which we haven't been allowed to see. If I were Trump, I'd force him to come clean on that one. But I suspect that what happened is he relied heavily on the Steele dossier in expanding or explaining what Mueller's jurisdiction is. The memo that he issued was right around the same time as he signed off on the FISA warrant that we know relied on the Steele dossier.
But both of those prongs that you believe explains why we don't have an answer to that question redound to the president's benefit. So why isn't he and his legal team pressing on that?
I have a feeling they may be. I think that timing in life is everything. What we keep hearing is that they may roll out some information about the Page FISA warrant this week.
Yeah, right.
I have a feeling that maybe there's actually a strategy here, and that as long as politics is being played against the president, that he's decided to wait until after Labor Day, when everybody's paying more attention again, to start rolling this stuff out. At least I assume that's what's going on here. I know that people think the president is wild and crazy, and I think that myself a lot of the time, but the people around him are not. I mean, he's got very, very good lawyers. And I would not be surprised if there's a more sophisticated public strategy than people think here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was your reaction when you heard, I think it was on Friday, that President Trump said he wanted the Sessions and the Department of Justice to investigate who the leaker is to the New York Times, who wrote the op-ed?
Yeah, I thought that was really reprehensible. I think, I understand that the president doesn't like the op-ed, and if the person who wrote it is discovered, I think I'd be the first person to support him firing that person and kicking him out of the White House, forthwith. But let's not continue to do what the left does and pretend that every single bad thing that happens is a crime. I tweeted over the weekend when I saw some of this stuff. I happen to be one of the handful of people in this country who's actually tried a seditious conspiracy case, and to say that this op-ed is sedition or treason is lunatic stuff. I mean, it just sounds crazy. The president is not the country. You can't have treason without somebody lending aid and comfort to the enemies of the United States, not the political enemies of Donald Trump. Sedition is conspiracy to use force against the United States to overthrow the system. Do you know how crazy it is, how crazy it sounds when people talk about an op-ed? I mean, really, an op-ed as sedition or treason? That's loony talk.
Totally agree. And by the way, the actual case of sedition you tried, you're referring to the first World Trade Center bombing, yeah?
I am, and you may be about to remind me that tomorrow is what the 17th anniversary of the 9/11 attack, and it's 25 years since the World Trade Center was bombed.
Yeah.
So we're still talking about the same things.
He is Andy McCarthy, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, prosecuted the first World Trade Center bombers, as we were just discussing. Also contributing editor at National Review, nationalreview.com. Check out his weekend piece, Mr. Rosenstein, What is the Crime? Andy, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
You guys have a great week.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from a VA client.
I do have a very close personal friend. Him and his wife were both Army. They did a couple tours. They were denied their VA loan at the 11th hour. They got the carpet pulled from underneath them. So, you hear horror stories like that. With you guys going through the VA process, you guys really did most of the legwork. I mean, just a matter of getting my paperwork in order and making sure you guys had the right documents so that you could push it through, make it happen, and get us the keys to our new home.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, a couple of notes on the midterms. Beckett Adams has a good piece on socialist poster girl for the Democrat Socialists, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's
back in the bar business.
She's a classic limousine liberal, literally. She, when she was running for that primary, we're running to be the nominee for that congressional seat, she had tweeted, "Yellow cab drivers are in financial ruin due to the unregulated expansion of Uber." So she's a big fan of what Sandinista de Blasio is doing to curtail Uber and Lyft and ride-sharing companies in New York.
Mm-hmm.
What was a living wage job now pays under minimum. We need to call Uber drivers what they are, employees, not contractors. Federal jobs guarantee, prep for automation. But Beckett Adams over the Washington Examiner did a little comparing of Ocasio-Cortez's behavior to her rhetoric. Her campaign, has spent an estimated $4,000 on 160 Uber rides and $2,500 on more than 90 rides with another ride-sharing service called Juno, according to the FEC data that she provided, as she's required to disclose. So there's one standard for political grandstanding and another when it comes to utilizing services that get you to places quickly and affordably. It's just worth noting the hypocrisy of the left on these issues that they use to whip up the energy of largely ill-informed. And I say again, as I mentioned earlier, so far this primary and special election season, Democrat turnout is up 78% as compared to the 14 midterms. Republicans only up 23%. So enthusiasm matters. There's a good piece in Roll Call by Nathan Gonzalez about the 5 states that will decide the House majority and what the Democrats are targeting from each of those 5 states in terms of pickups. They're looking for 1 in Minnesota and 5 in California and 2 in New York and 3 in a state. 2 in a state called Illinois.
Yeah, that's what. Well, how is Congressman Peter Roskam doing?
Dead heat.
Do you think it would help if President Trump came to Illinois and had a campaign rally in DuPage County for him?
Probably not. But Mike Boston, Southern Illinois, could probably use another visit to his neck of the woods. Mike Boss down there is in a dead heat. Roskam's in a dead heat. The last survey I saw on Randy Hultgren up here in the Collar counties, dead heat. Rodney Davis down Central Illinois way, also in a competitive race. So, there's some real issues here, some real threats for a seat. I mean, Roskam's seat, you're talking about the seat that Henry Hyde held.
Right.
You're talking about seats in the suburbs that have been Republican as long as I've been alive, that are in play, that were 2/3 Republican districts a couple cycles ago, and now are statistical dead heats all over northwest suburban Cook and the Collar counties. It's a real thing, and people, Republicans,
need to get out and vote.
They
to. It's not you have to. It's a must.
Well, they need to do more than that, and it's really about conversations, right? I mean, you have to be active, and you have to sort of control your circle of influence or try to influence your circle of influence. It's not enough to just vote quietly. I know people are afraid of ridicule, and I know people are afraid of being ostracized. But are you more afraid of that than you are about your future in this state, in this country, and that for your progeny? I mean, these are the things that are at stake in big elections where you have the threat of real upheaval, a.k.a. an impeachment proceeding, in addition to ever trying to recapture something resembling what Illinois once was. So inform people, share stories.
Talk to people, please.
See, this is how it works. It's not an epiphany. It's not somebody else's job. People you have a trust relationship with are interested in what you have to say more so than me, more so than what I have to say, some guy they don't know on the radio. Inform them of what's happening to you. Ask them to share their story. People get informed. They change their understanding. They change their behavior on Election Day. It changes the results. It's a continuum. So there's center-right families throughout suburban Cook and the Collars that better start helping people get on that continuum unless you want to go full de Blasio, not just in Chicago, but statewide.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to Mary Hassan, the director of the Catholic Women's Forum, about Cardinal Cupich's very curious house guest at 7:37.
Oh, I can't wait. That's a great tease. I'm not adding to that. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Fair skies this morning, 60 degrees at 7:31. A beach hazard statement is up. High waves and dangerous swimming conditions along the lakefront. Hurricane Florence generating big swells along parts of the East Coast. Florence is expected to become a major hurricane later this morning and take aim on the Carolinas by Thursday. A Texas police officer is facing a manslaughter charge for the killing of an unarmed man in his own apartment. Dallas police officer Amber Geiger was arrested over the weekend after she shot and killed 26-year-old Botham Jean last week. President Trump will travel to western Pennsylvania to commemorate tomorrow's anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. He'll be at the Flight 93 National Memorial. Longtime CBS executive Les Moonves says he's deeply saddened to be leaving the company after a growing number of sexual misconduct accusations. While Moonves says the numerous allegations are not true, a dozen women have accused Moonves of misconduct. Here in Chicago, 2 are dead, 19 others injured after a weekend of gun violence in Chicago. After Mayor Rahm Emanuel's surprise announcement he would not seek a third term in office, Chicago residents are beginning to choose their candidates to replace him in a new way. After the original 12 were in, a whole brand new series of candidates are coming out of the woodwork, including today, Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle. Chicago grandfather is dead after throwing his grandson out a window to safety to save him from a house fire. Fire began Sunday afternoon at a home on South Avenue L in the East Side neighborhood. Officers from Chicago caught that boy. He was taken to Comer Children's Hospital. Investigators say his condition is stable. The grandfather was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he later died. Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to Aaron Rodgers and lost 24-23 in the season opener at Lambeau. Cubs and Nationals wiped out because of rain. They'll start a set with the Brew Crew tonight, leading Milwaukee only by 2 games. White Sox lost to the Angels on the south side, 1-0. The news, a service of the T.J. Martell Foundation. The T.J. Martell Foundation, music's promise for a cure. To learn more, visit tjmartell.org, tjmartell.org. 7:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager always wants the truth.
Other than improving, how has the United States changed since Donald Trump became president? Tell me a way in which it has become worse. They make up lies. There's more racism, there's more anti-Semitism. It's all lies. You know that in your own life. They make up things. They just make up things. They have to, because leftism is total myth.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
You remember a simpler time when family fun was about having fun. It didn't include the kids glued to their tablets or smartphones. Well, real family fun is back at Gobert's Pumpkin Patch. For almost 70 years, Gobert's has been Chicagoland's family destination for fall fun.
This was the most fun day ever. My parents were there, my kids were there. There was a pumpkin patch, a maze, a haunted house, slides, a train, a fresh market, and there was so much more. I loved it.
It's a family tradition for us to visit Gobert's every October. The pumpkins are great, the attractions are fun, and the apple cider donuts are to die for.
Loved it. One price to get in, and almost all the activities were free. My kids had a blast.
Listen to the kids.
My mom loves the homemade caramel apples.
I have to say, the pumpkin cannon is cool.
They got a pumpkin-eating dinosaur. The live giraffe is really cool.
I love the jumping pillow and the Pumpkin Express train ride.
Gobert's Pumpkin Patch in Pingree Grove. Pick apples, explore the pumpkin patch, play games, ride the train. Gobert'sPumpkinPatch.com. Harvesting family memories. The following is a paid political announcement.
I lived in Grays Lake, and I have sold and moved out of the state.
Billy V. is a union employee. He left Illinois because he couldn't afford to pay $9,000 a year in property taxes on his $200,000 townhome in Grays Lake. Tony S.'s home in Park Ridge is being liquidated by the government to pay for someone else's pension.
I'm paying between $13,000 and $14,000 a year in property taxes, which is insane. I can't save for my retirement. They're basically stealing my equity from me.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbor's stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
7:36 and a check of the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Southbound Tri-State traffic now heavy from 120 to 176 and Toohey to Irving Park. Northbound from 95th to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to 190. But Adams Tollway delay 31 to Beverly. Reagan Tollway Winfield to Naperville. Veterans Memorial, Fountain Toll to Maple. Reagan Tollway to Roosevelt. Southbound St. Charles to Butterfield. Southbound 53's bottled up Palatine Higgins. On the Edens, looking at 22 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 27. Kennedy, an hour and 16 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 42 minutes from Montrose, 35 on the Express. Outbound 44 to the airport. Eisenhower, 52 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 46. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny and nice for later today. High 74. Clear and 56 overnight. Currently 60 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and the evidence continues to mount. A letter confirms Vatican officials knew of McCarrick allegations against Cardinal McCarrick that were made in 2000. Father Boniface Ramsey, pastor of St. Joseph's Church in St. Joseph's Church, Yorkville in New York City, told the Catholic News Service that September 7th, that he received a letter dated October 11th, 2006 from a Vatican official asking for information regarding a priest in the Archdiocese of New York who studied at Immaculate Conception Seminary, who was being vetted for a post at a Vatican office. The Vatican official wrote to Father Ramsey, "I ask with particular reference to serious matters involving some of the students of the seminary in question, which in November 2000 you were good enough to bring confidentially to the attention of the Apostolic Nuncio in the United States, the late Archbishop Gabriel Montalvo." So just evidence that the Vatican had communicated with a priest stateside about allegations against McCarrick that dated back to 2000. This letter that Father Ramsey released for scrutiny dated October 11, 2006. And yet Pope Francis called for silence and prayer in the wake of these allegations against McCarrick and the Vatican last week. And then there's this locally. One of the top flacks for Pope Francis has been Cardinal Cupich here. Yeah. Vincent McCaffrey. Vincent McCaffrey is a priest who in Chicago area, sentenced to 20 years in federal prison back in 2003 for possession and receipt of child pornography. Though he never was charged with abusing kids, McCaffrey admitted during the court case that he had molested so many he couldn't remember the exact number.
That's sick.
Another priest at the time, Reverend Raymond Godert, wrote to then Cardinal Bernardine. One of the key parishioners received an anonymous phone call which made reference by name to Vince, this priest, and alleged misconduct on his part with young boys. We all agreed the best thing would be for Vince to move.
Oh, instead of throwing Vince in jail or calling the police?
We don't know if the anonymous caller will strike again. Godert was promoted to auxiliary bishop in 91, retired in 2003. He acknowledged in 2007, in response to questions from lawyers deposing him, that he knew 25 priests had broken the law over the years by molesting children, but he had never alerted police. A decade later,
there's more.
Nothing changes. It just is the case here with McCarrick and the Vatican. A decade later, Godert remains in good standing as a bishop, and he also is living in the Cardinal's mansion on Chicago's Gold Coast.
Right now?
Cardinal Cupich's house guest, according to the Chicago Sun-Times.
Is Cato Kalin?
Well,
house guest?
Sort of, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how are we to take Cardinal Cupich's calls for the church to deal with sexual misconduct and cover-ups when he has somebody who was a cover-upper living in the mansion in the Gold Coast. For more on both of these topics, we're pleased to be joined by Mary Hasson. She's a Katie O'Byrne Fellow in Catholic Studies at the Ethics and Public Policy Center, also the director of the Catholic Women's Forum. She was one of the signatories on that letter that we read last week, signed by dozens and dozens of prominent Catholic women calling on Pope Francis to answer some simple, straightforward questions, that silence wasn't enough. And if you remember the line that I liked the most, it was the line in that letter about these women being as much of the church as the bishops and the cardinals and the hierarchy. Mary Rice Hasson, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Well, why don't we start locally for us with Cardinal Cupich and his house guest. How do you react to that?
Well, I don't know the immediate circumstances. I understand the Cardinal's mansion is in disrepair, so I'm not quite sure whether that's a lavish place for him to be or not. But really what this points to is what you mentioned earlier when you were speaking, is that there is just a culture of cover-up that has existed for decades. And I think when you referenced earlier the letter that, or the confirmation that has come out that, yes, indeed, the Vatican knew back in 2000 that then Cardinal McCarrick was engaged in serious misconduct with seminarians, that means that was 18 years before lay people got any wind of that. And the Cardinal was being promoted as sort of the face and the distinguished, persona in the American church here. So there's a culture that's long-standing of just tolerating, not just child abuse, which is horrible in itself, but a more generalized climate of sexual misconduct where it's just looked the other way and as if lay people have no stake in knowing about that and having priests living lives of integrity and bishops living lives of integrity.
I'm confused about the McCarrick because the Catholic Church settled with two of his alleged victims, one for, I believe, $80,000, another one for $100,000. These were seminary students who he molested or harassed. When did that officially come out? That there was
that was not publicized until this year. Okay. So even though those settlements were, I believe, over a decade ago, those did not come out into the public discussion. And then Cardinal McCarrick was still being promoted, and in particular under Pope Francis, he was sort of revitalized, if you will, and given responsibility specifically.
What is
be the face of the church?
Well, right, and so because it wasn't publicized, and I think this is the point you're getting to, doesn't mean that people internally didn't know. Particularly, as you say, he is being promoted and elevated and scrutinized for promotion per this letter from Father Ramsey at St. Joseph's in New York City. And so where do you sense that the internal pressure is right now for Francis to do something other than offer silence and prayer?
Well, I know that the American bishops, led by Cardinal DiNardo, are doing a terrific job of just insisting that the Vatican address this, that they've asked for a visitation, they've asked for an investigation. To the extent they're not getting a reply, that responsibility falls on those who are surrounding Pope Francis and Pope Francis himself. And I think that's the frustrating thing here. That's what I'm hearing from women, this hurt and betrayal and just this sense of deep frustration and anger that the church, the institutional church, does not appear to be taking this seriously, or at least does not feel like there needs to be an accountability and a response to lay people when it's our children who were, abused, or our sons who were in the seminary who were exploited and manipulated by people like McCarrick. So there's just this willingness of people who are higher up to keep the laity in the dark and to just cover for each other. And that really, I think, is the source of the anger.
Do you think Pope Francis should be forced to resign or step down from all this?
No, I would not go that far. I'm not even going to get into that question. I think that the immediate question is, or the thing on the table is this. We have a hurting church, and you can't begin to heal from a wound until you clean it out. You expose it to the light, you clean it out, and then you can apply whatever remedies you need and begin to heal. So we can't jump to the remedies without cleaning things out and knowing exactly what the problem is, because that's what got us, in this country, that's what got us into trouble back in 2002. Really good guidelines were put in place for reporting of child abuse by priests, and the number of priest predators has dropped dramatically. But there was nothing put in place for bishops who were predators. There was no reporting mechanism, no accountability mechanism, nor was there anything for just this generalized climate of priestly misconduct or bishop misconduct and the willingness to tolerate and cover that up. So if you don't acknowledge problems, you can't fix them, and that's why we're in this spot right now.
And it seems to me that the hierarchy, at least aspects of the hierarchy, are completely indifferent to the damage it's doing to the church, the numbers of people that are leaving the church because they don't distinguish between the faith and the church. They're so disgusted by the church. I mean, incidents like what happened the other weekend where Cardinal Wuerl is shamed publicly during his homily in D.C. And again, it's just they're just kind of playing damage control like a politician and hoping they can wait this out. And I wonder what other pressure can be brought to bear locally and internationally for some kind of full reckoning so that the integrity of the church's leadership can someday, it's not going to be tomorrow, someday be restored.
Yeah, I think it's a multi-layered solution. I think, first of all, lay people need to make their voice heard in their own diocese. They need to go to their bishop, in this case, Cardinal Cupich, and just request that laity be allowed to review, a lay commission or specific investigators who are trained, not one person, because we've seen when there's one person that oftentimes legitimate issues are just buried, but they need to expose these files and do a thorough review and see what is missing and begin that conversation about what needs to be fixed. So that needs to happen in every diocese. And I know in some dioceses across the country, there's great receptivity to that on the part of the bishops. They don't want the Attorney General to force them to be opening their files. They want to do it themselves. They want to say, hey, let's get to the bottom of this. We don't want this either. So the more the laity can just pressure within their diocese to have this transparency, this willingness to confront the problem, and that's going to be effective. But also supporting Cardinal DiNardo and the efforts of the USCCB to put in place some meaningful procedures, but also, they want the Vatican to respond because really it's the Vatican who has responsibility for the individual bishops and the cardinals. So, but Cardinal DiNardo and the USCCB, I think, need to hear from Catholics in America saying, push, we want this, we need this. And then I would encourage lay people to sign our letter, Women Want Answers, the letter from women. We're going to send an update with new signatures at the end of this week. There's now a men's letter, Catholic Men United, doing the same thing, close to 10,000 signatures. We have over almost 43,000 signatures. So the Pope needs to hear from us. And I've found that there's a disconnect between the U.S. and Europe, that a lot of people who are over there, I've been talking to a lot of international media over the past week, and they just don't get the turmoil, the drop in people attending Mass, the drop in collections, the anger, the sense that, no, we're not going to let business as usual take over. This needs to be addressed. So that message has got to cross the Atlantic and really penetrate those circles surrounding Pope Francis, who I think are, would prefer to just let things blow over, but it's not. It's not going to blow over.
She is Mary Rice Hasson, Katie O'Byrne Fellow in Catholic Studies at the Ethics and Public Policy Center and Director of Catholic Women's Forum. Mary, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Sight and Sound Theaters invite you to experience a special event coming to movie theaters for 3 days only.
Moses, deliver my people out of bondage and into the land of promise.
An epic Bible story adventure for the whole family. Prepare for a journey out of Egypt on a quest to reach the promised land in this original stage production filmed in front of a live audience.
Let my people go!
Moses, in movie theaters for 3 days only, September 13th, 15th, and 20th. For a theater location near you, go to mosesevent.com.
We both got text messages. We know Supich doesn't live in the State Parkway mansion, but the fact that he has house guests there, how many other people live there?
The point is this. I don't, Supich, the mansion is too opulent, even though it's sort of in disrepair for me, so I don't live there. It's a big show. It's big virtue signaling. Don't care. Semantics. The guy's there. I don't care how long he's been there. Maybe he's been there 3 decades. Don't care. He admitted to covering up 25 priests who committed abuse.
He should be in jail, not at that location.
Period.
Yeah.
And this is an old story. People know about this. You think people know about this? Nobody knows about this. People don't know. No credibility when there's no reckoning. And the Nuremberg defense, back in the time, things were different, and then we didn't report anonymous complaints. In a deposition, he admitted to covering for 25 abusive priests. End of story.
Sick. And silence is not going to end this Catholic crisis. Turnkey IT knows that computer networks and all things IT are the vital heartbeat of any company. However, keeping up with hardware and software to hiring and managing IT staff can be costly and time-consuming, but there is a different solution. Now your business can have a full-time IT department for only $795 a month. That's what the Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and so much more, plus new hardware every 4 years. Hey, where can you hire a reliable and highly capable employee for less than $10K per year? You don't have to with Turnkey IT. From 1 person to 200 employees, it's easy and affordable with Turnkey IT. You run your business, they will handle the technical stuff. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
Your local 1-hour heating and air conditioning knows how miserable it feels when your AC goes out. You want it fixed fast, fixed right, and get a fast quote. Unlike some companies, we don't give you a quote until we actually see what the problem is. Then we'll give you our straightforward price and always stand by our work. Right now, get savings on any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Do you know your bank's fraud tolerance? I'm Ann Dollagall, Treasury Management Executive. At Signature Bank, we have 0 tolerance. While some of the big banks may write off smaller incidences of fraud, we use a multi-layered approach to fight fraud before it happens to our customers. There's been a record number of businesses hit with payments fraud this year. Keeping your business assets safe is our top priority. We are trained, and we will train you to recognize potential wire fraud threats and business email compromise scams. Call us today to find out how Signature Bank can work with your business to fight fraud.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule. Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Doors or windows sticking?
Uneven floors? New cracks in your drywall or exterior brickwork? Bowing basement walls? Does any of this sound familiar? Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. Many homeowners across Chicagoland are experiencing these symptoms of structural foundation issues. All too often I hear of a homeowner that paid for an expensive consultation just to determine the problem. Don't be one of them. Call Permaseal at 800-421-SEAL. Our certified structural consultants will thoroughly evaluate your foundation and offer a permanent solution at absolutely no charge. From Waukegan to DeKalb to Kankakee, we're committed to providing you with quality products and the superior service that you deserve. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL. When the work is done, you'll have a transferable warranty along with priceless peace of mind. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Known best for being better, Permaseal.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Serena Williams cries sexism at the U.S. Open tennis final. We'll discuss at 8:08.
Yeah, was it sexism or was she out of line? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine right now, blue skies, and a dry couple of days ahead for us. A man dies after saving his grandson from a house fire. Details on that story coming up. A woman sexually assaulted in a River North hotel room. Aldi looking to hire hundreds in the Chicago area. And the Bears blow a big lead against the Packers. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
The Carolina coast could be in for a beating. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's always good to be prepared and be ready to go.
He's filling sandbags in North Charleston, worried about Hurricane Florence, which could be very powerful when it hits. Fox's Evan Brown tracking live from Miami.
Yeah, Dave, Florence is still more than 600 miles away from the other side of Bermuda, but by Thursday night, she'll be smacking the coast of North Carolina. The track consistently places Florence on a path to Wilmington, though it could wobble still. Now would be the time for residents along the coast, really from Georgia up through the Carolinas and to Virginia, to prepare, gather supplies, food, water, medication, fuel. When evacuation orders are given, it's a good idea to go. First responders will not come for you in the midst of a storm, Dave.
President Trump's calling Bob Woodward a liar, tweeting his new book's a scam full of made-up quotes. The book details chaos inside the White House. We still don't know the anonymous author of the New York Times op-ed, said to be a senior administration official critical of the president.
Cowards are like criminals. They eventually suss out themselves because they eventually confess or brag to the wrong person.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway. The AP reports the U.S. is going to close the Palestinian mission office in Washington for not taking part in peace talks with the Israelis. But the Palestinians no longer accept the Americans as a broker of such talks, angry over moving the U.S. embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. A white Dallas, Texas police officer charged with manslaughter for killing her black neighbor last week. Amber Geiger went home after her shift, says she entered the wrong apartment. The victim's family attorney, Benjamin Crump, wants more answers, saying Botham Jean was
not doing anything, not committing any crime, but yet a police officer comes through the front door and shoots him in the chest.
There's a new Miss America, Nia Franklin, the first to be crowned without needing to wear a swimsuit.
I'm happy that I didn't have to win this title tonight because I'm more than just that.
This is Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 60 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A beach hazard statement is up. High waves, dangerous swimming conditions continue along Lake Michigan beaches in Illinois and Indiana through this day. 2 are dead, 19 others injured after a weekend of gun violence in Chicago. 12 were shot on Sunday alone. After Mayor Rahm Emanuel's surprise announcement that he would not seek a third term, a new fresh round of candidates is beginning to emerge, including Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle, who is expected to announce today she will form an exploratory committee. Chicago grandfather is dead after throwing his grandson out of a window to save him from a raging house fire. It happened Sunday afternoon at a home on South Avenue L in Chicago's East Side neighborhood. Attorneys are expected to start questioning possible jurors in the trial of a Chicago police officer charged with first-degree murder in the 2014 shooting death of Laquan McDonald. Jason Van Dyke's attorneys say they don't believe he'll get a fair trial here and are asking the trial to be moved. Judge says he wants to see how jury selection goes before making that decision. A woman says a man forced his way into her hotel room in the River North area and sexually assaulted her. According to the Chicago Tribune, it happened Saturday night at the Godfrey Hotel on West Huron Street on the near north side. Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to Aaron Rodgers and lost 24-23 in the season opener at Lambeau in Green Bay. Cubs and Nationals wiped out because of rain, and the White Sox lost 1-0 to the Angels on the south side. It's 8:03 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal 800-421-SEAL. It's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network, here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, CBS President and CEO Les Moonves has resigned, and the possible merger of CBS and Viacom has been put on hold for 2 years. 6 more women have accused Moonves of sexual abuse. Moonves denies the allegations. CBS also has ended the lawsuit against its major shareholder, Shari Redstone, and National Amusements. Jack Ma, the founder of China-based e-commerce company Alibaba Group, is stepping down as chairman of the company, though he will remain active in the business. Ma is considered one of the world's richest entrepreneurs. Subway's iconic $5 footlong may be going away. USA Today says local franchisees will be given the option of whether to continue the sandwich. Franchisees have complained they don't make enough money on the discounted footlong. The Dow was down 79 Friday. NASDAQ lost 20, S&P down 6. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2018, presented by Geiger Wealth Management, Chicagoland's retirement expert, on Saturday, October 27th. This year, featuring headline speakers, former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark and James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Also appearing, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Chicagoland Waterproofing and by Tom Mirabaldi, independent agent for Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois.
Doctor, award-winning chief medical correspondent, and Salon Pas user, Dr. Bob Arnott.
For pain relief, the best solution may surprise you. I found that Salon Pas Lidocaine Plus works best for my pain. It's powerful, available without a prescription, and uses 2 anesthetics to numb nerves right where it hurts. It starts to work on contact, providing effective, lasting pain relief I can count on.
Salon Pas, in the silver box with the blue wave.
I used to post to job boards that sent me tons of resumes.
Just to find a few people who were right for my job.
That old process was not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology scans resumes for me to find the right people.
And actively invites them to apply. So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Without further ado.
Hi, I'm Patty Fritz, Precision Payroll's first employee. Yes, I'm real. I love working with my team and our clients and providing the best service and support. Hard to believe it's been that long. But when you love what you do, it's great. And I do love what we do at Precision Payroll. I didn't start for myself either.
That's right, Patty. I was there day one, and I'm still working with you today. Hi, I'm Jack Bishop, owner of Priority Logistics in Elk Grove, and Precision Payroll's first client. Yes, I'm real too. Precision Payroll has served us exceptionally for 35 years. We've grown together over the years, and I look forward to many more to come.
Jack and Patty, thank you both for making Precision Payroll of America a great company to do business with. To join our growing ranks of clients, visit us at precisionpayroll.com.
It is 8:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Lake in the Hills, crash with injuries. Miller at Lakewood. Edens runs 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 31. Kennedy, an hour and 15 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 45 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 36 to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes, 390 to the Circle. Outbound 54 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to the Drive. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, jammed Montrose to North Avenue. Northbound 31st to Jackson. Southbound 53 has roadwork delays. Before Palatine Road to Higgins. Veterans Memorial southbound, Slow Lake to Butterfield. Northbound, Fountain Toll to Ogden. The Army Trail Toll to 290. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Madison Baggett.
Partly sunny and nice today, high 73. Clear this evening, low 56. Tuesday, mostly sunny and pleasant, high 78. Clear Tuesday evening, low 60. Another pleasant day for Wednesday, sunny and warm, high 81. I'm Madison Baggett on AM 560, The Answer.
61 at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retirement Zone Radio and the North Shore Capital Group, empowering you Saturday afternoons at 4.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy O. It'll be fun to see how CBS covers the departure of its president and chief executive officer, Les Moonves, just as it was with respect to Charlie Rose. Moonves, he gone.
Yeah.
Amid sexual harassment claims, an initial group of them that were added to in the New Yorker yesterday by Ronan Farrow. Before we get to those, though, let's remember what Julie Chen.
Yes, his wife.
That's his wife. She's one of the people on the View, the Chew, the Stew, one of those.
The Talk. And it's on CBS, and she, was very adamant that this is going to be it. I'm only making one statement, and one statement only.
And this was the first round of allegations, not this weekend's.
Now, some of you may be aware of what's been going on in my life for the last few days. I issued the one and only statement I will ever make on this topic on Twitter. And I will stand by that statement today, tomorrow, forever. Let's get started with Olympic.
Yeah.
So what my point of contention is that he resigned, he wasn't fired, and he should have been fired. I mean, within hours after Ronan Farrow's latest article where it was very descriptive of what he did to 6 different women, he was forced to resign or whatever.
I mean, that's being fired.
Yeah, and he's exiting with $100 million, one report says, and $20 million of that he's going to donate to the Me Too movement.
No, he's not. The company.
Oh, the company.
CBS
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Always a way to make things all better.
I'll give you an example of the women who are named. So
So these aren't anonymous sources. They came out.
So speaking of news organization, NBC. Let's run this by folks over at NBC. Now, does this meet the standard for publication, NBC, of Ronan Farrow's work? Because I know it didn't when you were flacking for Harvey Weinstein. Let's just remember all the news organizations, none of whom have clean hands on this. One of the women named, Phyllis Golden Gottlieb, told Farrow she filed a criminal complaint late last year with the L.A. Police Department accusing Moonves of physically restraining her and forcing her to perform oral sex on him, and of exposing himself to her and violently throwing her against a wall in later incidents. The two, her and Moonves, worked together in the late 1980s. Law enforcement could not prosecute. They found the allegations credible, consistent, but they couldn't prosecute because the statute of limitations for the crimes had expired. But she goes into detail, in addition to what I just gave you, about what Moonves is alleged to have done to her. And there's Jessica Pallingston, who worked as an assistant to various Warner Brothers executives. And, I mean, this goes on for 13 pages, details, names, and incidents.
Well, during the first round, 3 of the 6, the 3, he said, no, that's not true. And the other 3, he said, oh, those were consensual relationships. This time around, he's gone. So who's next, Dan?
Well, probably the executive producer at 60 Minutes, who's still on the job, but is facing similar allegations of unwanted advances at minimum at this point. But we'll see. We'll see. And, and this is where a reckoning should obviously come when you're talking about predators like Weinstein, or it certainly appears Moonves, and others that have been established, regardless of the targets, Kevin Spacey, others, okay? And then there's incidents that get sort of folded into all of this, these faux struggles for women's equality, women's rights, because everybody wants a piece of this action. Everybody wants to don the cape and be the hero or heroine. And it seems to me that's the case of Serena Williams over the weekend in the U.S. Open final against Osaka was the young lady's name who won. And Osaka, she was like Naomi Osaka. Serena Williams is her hero. They're about 16 years apart. But Serena Williams was signaling with her coach from the stands,
which is illegal. You can't do that.
That's violation of the rules. And so she was warned and then penalized, and then she took offense.
This is unbelievable. Every time I play here, I have problems. What? Yeah, that's a warning. I didn't get coaching. I didn't get coaching. You need to make an announcement that I didn't get coaching. I don't cheat. I didn't get coaching. How can you say that? You owe me an apology. You owe me an apology. I have never cheated in my life. I have a daughter and I stand what's right for her, and I've never cheated. And you owe me an apology. You will never do it again.
Does the fact she has a daughter, is that relevant?
Now it makes it personal for her, and she brought that in. That was conjecture. She put that into the story.
Well, I understand what she said. Right. The question is it appropriate? Serena Williams went on to, play the gender card.
It's wrong. You attacking my character. Yes, you are. You owe me an apology. You will never, ever, ever be on another court of mine as long as you live. You are the liar.
And she persisted with the demand for an apology.
When are you going to give me my apology? You owe me an apology. Say it. Say you're sorry.
Now.
Well, then don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
And after that language got her a game penalty.
Are you kidding me? Because I said you're a thief. Because you stole a point from me. But I'm not a cheater. But I told you to apologize to me. This is out. Excuse me, I need the referee.
And then it was time for the gender card.
And that's not right. This is not fair. This has happened to me too many times. This is not fair. This is not fair. But to give me a point to lose a game for what we're saying, that is not fair. I mean, it's really not. Yeah. Right. But you know how many other men do things that are, I don't think they do much worse than that. This is not fair. There's a lot of men out here that have said a lot of things, and because they're men, that doesn't have
Okay, Serena, it's not because you're a woman. It's because they expect more decorum and control in the game of tennis. She was fined $10,000 for calling the chair umpire a thief, $4,000 for communicating with her coach, and $3,000 for breaking her racket. People forget that she did that. She destroyed her racket.
No,
and that cost her a point, too.
There's a couple of points of order. Speaking of points, one is her coach admitted that he was signaling to her.
Yeah.
So that's not in dispute, and it's a violation of the rules. Some people say it's a stupid rule. Billie Jean King, it's a stupid rule. It shouldn't be a rule. Okay, well, fine, eliminate the rule. But if it's a rule and the umpire calls it, then what are you going to do?
To follow the rules for now.
Number two, this umpire, Carlos Ramos, penalized Novak Djokovic for the same thing, signaling to his coach recently. That's the number one men's tennis player in the world who won the U.S. Open on the men's side. Also, Serena's sister Venus Ford in 2016. So it's a known quantity that this is an issue that he takes perhaps more seriously than other umpires. But that's like in baseball. You know, a particular umpire gives you the outside corner, or has a real tight strike zone. That's just different umpires that have different emphases when it comes to umpiring a match or a game. So the argument that this was sexist, it's because she's a woman. By the way, she was playing a woman.
Right.
So I'm trying to follow the logic there. It's a challenge. Is the same thing as would be me saying that the reason she attacked Carlos Ramos is because he's Latino.
Right.
I mean,
well, she didn't bring up race, thank goodness.
No. But I'm bringing it up for him. So why not make if we're just going to play identity politics, you don't like a call, you don't like an interchange, so we're immediately going to go to race or gender identity politics. So if we're going to play identity politics, then why not? It has the same intellectual heft as accusing Serena Williams of being anti-Latino. That's why she took out after Carlos Ramos, which is stupid, but so is what she did and what she said.
And now this has empowered her because now she's a spokesperson for women to empower themselves.
I can't sit here and say I wouldn't say he's a thief because I thought he took a game from me, but I've seen other men call other umpires several things, and I'm here fighting for women's rights and for women's equality and for all kinds of stuff. And for me to say thief and for him to take a game, it made me feel like it was a sexist remark. I mean, like how he's never took a game from a man because they said thief.
Yeah, well, first of all, that's not all she said.
For me, it blows my mind. But I'm going to continue to fight for women and to fight for us to have equal. Like Cornet should be able to take her shirt off without getting a fine. Like, this is outrageous.
Everybody burn it. Take your shirts off.
And I just feel like the fact that I have to go through this is just an example for the next person that has emotions and that want to express themselves and they want to be a strong woman, and they're going to be allowed to do that because of today. Maybe it didn't work out for me, but it's going to work out for the next person.
It wasn't, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't that she used the word thief. It was that went on and on and on.
She couldn't control herself.
Have you ever been to a sporting event? Have you ever seen a manager get ejected? Have you ever seen a coach get a technical and then another technical and get ejected?
I've seen players get ejected, yeah. She should have been ejected.
It's one comment, and that gets you, one level of discipline, and then the discipline increases the more out of line you are. And that's exactly what happened with Serena Williams.
But even
and
tennis,
to cloak herself in this feminist pablum is so embarrassing. You think she's some kind of great a feminist icon now because she got in a verbal altercation with an umpire?
Because she smashed her racket.
How absurd.
No.
How absurd. A temper tantrum makes you a feminist icon? That's all it was.
Right. She had a temper tantrum. She reminded me of, she's a female version of John McEnroe. I mean, really, remember his antics on the court? When he used to freak out and break his racket?
Well, I'm sure the incidents of her losing her cool are much less in number than McEnroe, but so what? McEnroe
He was penalized for the point I was trying to make is that he was penalized for those outbursts, just like she's being penalized for her outbursts. And the TV analyst that I saw on CNN, the tennis analyst, they agreed with the chair umpire.
And the difference,
because she should have controlled herself.
And the difference is McEnroe didn't make this about some big, political issue. It's not political at all. I mean, it's just so embarrassing. And that people would be cheering this, it's ignorant.
She got a standing ovation in the press room.
Rob in Ukrainian Village.
She's just abiding by the new calling card. Just do it, even if it means sacrificing everything.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the call, Rob. And you mean sacrificing a point and then a game and then the match? Although,
And then $17,000.
again, what did Osaka win? Like 6-2, 6-1 or something? I mean, it was not a close match. But okay. Patty on the Northwest Side.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. What's not being reported is on ESPN, that coach actually did admit that he was giving her coaching, but maybe she didn't see it or whatever. And now another thing is, now this is such a stand for feminists, but who won the match? Another woman that got booed, and nobody's giving her any props. So just like any feminist, anytime they try to say they're working for women, they end up taking more from us.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Patty. Yeah, and there's no question she overshadowed Osaka's win.
Men, we don't know what we did.
Melissa in Glenview. Hello, Melissa. Melissa in Glenview.
Yes. Hey.
Hey. You're on.
I just
Go
wanted
ahead.
to tell Serena that she doesn't speak for all women, but thank you, and that behavior she displayed on the court is not something I would want to teach my daughter on how to behave, and very unsportsmanlike. Thanks.
Thanks, Melissa. Noted feminist Sean from Elmwood Park.
He's my favorite feminist.
First off, Amy,
Nice
are we pretending that the veins in her arms aren't bigger than McEnroe?
Here we go.
I mean, are we gonna dance around the subject that this is? Do you need Mean Gene Okerlund standing next to her and her with a Hulkamania T-shirt on before you realize she's Lou Ferrigno in a tutu? It's roid rage. That's all it is. You can't control yourself, all juiced up. Yeah, that's all it is. This notion that we walk around, oh my God, it's been tiring for 10 years. Michelle Obama's pretty, Barack Obama's not a Marxist, and Serena Williams is feminine. I got it.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Illinois property taxes punish the most vulnerable the most, like widow Mary Pay.
They just keep on going up and up. So that means my mortgage payment goes up, and it's kind of hard. What are they doing for us? Nothing.
66-year-old Chicago resident Linda J. had to take a second job just to pay her property taxes.
Mine is $7,000 a year. If I wasn't still working, I'd be screwed. Even at retirement age, I'm getting my Social Security, but I still have to work, and I'm working 2 jobs.
Rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, you will not be spared the financial disaster the highest property taxes in the nation inflict. The good news is there's a group of independent candidates who aren't financed by Madigan or Rauner. They're working people, taking up our fight to lower your property taxes. They made a life in Illinois, and the hell if they're going to let politicians take it away. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org for information on the candidates leading the revolt. Go to SaveYourHomeNow.org to hear your neighbors' stories and share your own. SaveYourHomeNow.org isn't just a website, it's a battle cry.
Liberty Principles paid for this ad and is solely responsible for its content, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Upstream-ideas.com, long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week, Bears kicked off their season against the Packers last night. You may have heard about Aaron Rodgers' miraculous performance. I kicked off our season of Against the Current with one Des Clark, longtime Bears tight end.
Your BFF, huh?
Really fun discussion on a range of things, the intersection of sports and politics, which we talk about in this show, life's second acts. Now, Des Clark working as a financial advisor, finding success as an entrepreneur, also family and personal responsibility. It was a really good conversation. You want to check out a former professional athlete who has some thoughtful things to say. You want to check out what Des Clark has to say at upstream-ideas.com. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, free property tax reports on your home and updated home sales information in your community. All the property tax and home sales info, defendhomeowners.com. Use it. It's free. Educate your neighbors. Educate people in your circle of influence. It's not supposed to be a secret. And all of the other content, like the interview with Des Clark, at upstream-ideas.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
My name is Lauren Sullivan, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 9 years ago, and I was severely disabled. And about 6 years ago, my mother had found Balance of Nature, so we decided to give it a try because at that point, nothing was helping. I was skeptical at first, but over time I realized I had more energy levels. I was sleeping better, which was huge, and my hair looked better, my skin looked better, my nails looked better, and then I was able to weed off some of those medications. And I know, had I not found Balance of Nature, I would not be living the quality of life that I am now.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
By the way, I wonder why the sports and D.C. press court doesn't ask Margaret Court what she thinks about Serena Williams. Margaret Court is the greatest women's tennis player who ever lived. She's got the most Grand Slam individual titles, one more than Serena Williams. So why Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova and not Margaret Court, I wonder?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We talked to our friend Andrew Clavin, Hollywood screenwriter, about Les Moonves, and also California's going fossil fuel free. Boy, better pony up for that electric bill. That's at 8:38.
What does he think of President Trump's hunt for the op-ed author? The hunt continues. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Mostly sunny skies, 62 degrees, and a beach hazard statement is up for Lake Michigan beaches in Illinois and Indiana. Flights have been halted at a major airport in Lyon, France, after a car drove onto the runway there. The suspect got out of that car and ran around on the runway for quite some time. That suspect has been detained. An Afghani official says another Taliban attack in that country in the north has killed 14 troops. Sweden looking at weeks of uncertainty and complex coalition talks after the country's 2 main rival political blocs failed to secure a clear governing majority in elections that saw a boost for a far-right anti-migration party. A Texas police officer is facing manslaughter charges for killing an unarmed man in his own apartment. Dallas police officer Amber Geiger was arrested over the weekend after she shot and killed 26-year-old Botham Jean last week. Hurricane Florence is poised to become a major hurricane. Florence grew into a Category 2 storm overnight, still some 600 miles southeast of Bermuda. It's expected to take aim at North and South Carolina and Virginia later this week. And 2 more hurricanes are now lined up behind Florence in the Atlantic. 2 are dead, 19 others hurt after a weekend of gun violence in Chicago. 12 alone shot on Sunday. Chicago grandfather is dead after throwing his grandson out of a window to save him from a raging house fire. It started Sunday afternoon at a home on South Avenue L, Chicago's East Side neighborhood. A woman was killed, 3 others hurt, following a shooting outside an Elgin bar Sunday. The verbal altercation escalated, involved several people outside Dee's Hangout Bar and Grill. The city of Evanston's longest-serving chief executive has passed away. Lorraine Morton died over the weekend, according to the Sun-Times. Morton was Evanston's first and only African-American mayor. A bit of a budget hawk who opposed higher property taxes. Lorraine Morton was 99. Bears gave up 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to Aaron Rodgers and lost 24-23 in the season opener at Green Bay. Cubs and Nationals wiped out because of rain in D.C. Cubs host the Brewers tonight. They only lead Milwaukee by 2 games in that critical set on top of the NL Central. White Sox lost to the Angels 1-0. The News, a service of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, supporting victims of drunk driving, drug driving, and underage drinking at no charge. Call their 24-hour victim helpline, 877-MAD-HELP, or MADD.org. 8:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains our free press.
Happily, I live in a country which has free speech, free press. Government does not control newspapers, so you get truth. And over the course of my lifetime, and never more than at this very moment, do you realize how they are coordinated ideologically, and it is a brainwash.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer. Being successful in business means overcoming enormous obstacles to serve your customers and community. AM 560, The Answer, wants to shine a spotlight on businesses that are thriving. We want to celebrate their success by finding out what makes these businesses unique, successful, and what we can learn from them. We want to know how you built it. Presented by Chicagoland Waterproofing. To tell us how you built it, go to 560theanswer.com/built. That's 560theanswer.com/BUILT. Sponsored by Signature Bank and Ozinga.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. We've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. Our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days. Then, if rates go up, your rate stays locked. But if rates go down, your rate drops. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Hey, join the Heartland Institute and me on Friday, October 26th for their 34th anniversary benefit dinner at the Cotillion in Palatine. I will be your MC, and the featured speaker will be Judge Andrew Napolitano from the Fox News Channel. Judge Napolitano is nationally known for watching and reporting on the government, and his no-holds-barred, hard-hitting commentary on government overreach and the abuse of our rights. Register today to reserve your VIP tickets or a whole table and meet Judge Napolitano. His important and unforgettable speech will be on the Constitution and human freedom. Also be there to help celebrate the lives of 2 people who have dedicated their lives to advancing liberty. Heartland Liberty Prize winners Joe Bast, the co-founder and former president of the Heartland Institute, and his wife Diane. Don't be held in contempt. Join the Heartland Institute and me, Judge Napolitano, on Friday, October 26th at the Cotillion in Palatine. For tickets or information, call 312-377-4000 or visit heartland.org. That's 312-377-4000 or heartland.org. I'll see you there.
8:35 at the opening bell. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all trading higher in very early trading. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Kennedy inbound delay start at Foster. It's an hour and 2 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 45 minutes from Montrose, 36 in the Express. Outbound 40 to the airport. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 25. Van Nuys and Howard, hour and 2 minutes, 390 to downtown. 40 minutes from Anaheim. Outbound 50, 390. Stevenson, an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 36 minutes. Pride is 38 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is a mess. Montrose to North Avenue. Northbound heavy Hyde Park Boulevard, 57th, and from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State delays, Oakton to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 95th to Ogden and Roosevelt to 190. Veterans Memorial southbound jammed, Army Trail to Butterfield. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, sunny and nice today. High 74. A crisp low of 56 overnight. 62 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
There we go, a little Queensryche. I like it. Good way to start the week. Dan and Amy, I was watching the Bears-Packers game and another Hall of Fame performance, I should say, from Aaron Rodgers. So we outsourced watching the Miss America pageant to Andrew Klavan, Hollywood screenwriter and essayist, author of The Great Good Thing, A Secular Jew Comes to Faith in Christ. Andrew, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
So what did you think of Nia Franklin's rendition of Quando Van Gogh from La Boheme?
Would you like to hear some of it?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I went out to dinner. I missed the entire thing.
Oh.
So I know I'm a disappointment to you all. But,
Well, they replaced the swimsuit competition after 98 years, as you well know, with a talent competition, okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That may be why I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
That may actually explain why
Me
I wasn't
too.
watching.
I prefer the discourse. I like to learn things about climate change and the like from watching those competitions, not pageants.
It's not a that's by the way, it's not a pageant, it's a competition.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Right.
All right, speaking of things that are certifiable, Andrew, you live in California, and Governor Moonbeam out there getting real aggressive. He must have been motivated by President Obama's remarks on Friday at U of I. California is going to be completely fossil fuel free by 2045, so you better start writing and selling more books to pay your electric bill.
Yeah, well, what I've been doing is I've been gathering sticks so I can heat my home in the winter and, just build a little fire in the middle of the floor. That'll help. And I mean, the state is now living in its own imagination. We're living in a world where we can somehow create enough electricity without fossil fuels. Which it is funny. No one seems to ever discuss where this energy is going to come from. It's going to come from the sun. It's going to come from wind, and yet, there's no way to store that energy. So it's no way to use it in the manner that we need it. Most electricity comes from coal. People don't know that, but that's still where it comes from. And it is odd that this state just continues to live at this level of fantasy that is being supported by billionaires in Silicon Valley, some of the best capitalists in the country, who sit around talking about how we should all be socialists. So that's, Hollywood is a capitalist center, and they all sit around on the Bill Maher show talking about how we should all be socialists. And Silicon Valley, expert capitalists, and they all sit around talking about how we should be socialists. So it's basically the state is just one big fantasy land.
Well, I mean, the fun thing would be for them to be the change they wish to see, so wind turbines and solar panels in their backyards.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not, what could possibly go wrong, except sometimes the sun goes down. They call it night. We're trying to prevent it. Scientists are working around the clock to prevent it, but so far, no luck.
Do you think that any of the Hollywood elite feel guilty because of their wealth? And they may be like, let's spread things around because they can afford to do that, whereas the average working American, we can't afford it. I mean, what we make, we have to keep because we have children, to take care of.
There is some kind of connection between the massive wealth that you get. I mean, in Hollywood, where I live, if you are a guy who's never done anything for anybody, but you go on television and pretend to be a police officer, you can make $250,000 a week, okay? A week. If you are a police officer, you're risking your lives for people, and you're putting your whole life on the line to keep people safe. You're making $60,000-$70,000 a year, okay? And I think maybe that disjunction does affect people's minds. It does make people think they have to sort of do something. They have to get out and, make it up to people that they are being overpaid the way they are. And plus, I am an artist. We live in our imaginations, and in the imagination, that's the place where socialism works. That's the place where environmentalism works. Your imagination is a wonderful, wonderful world. But some of us, even though we are artists, come out of our imaginations and start to say, well, wait, how does reality work? What does socialism do in real life? What does, climate change, panic, and hysteria do in real life? And I just think it's just too easy. It is just too easy to stand up at an Oscar speech where you've been paid for reading somebody's lines convincingly and you get a prize for it. It's just too tempting to stand up there and make some heroic speech as if you had performed some action other than pretending to be someone. It used to be when actors came to town, people locked up their daughters. They understood that they were talented people, but they also understood that they weren't very good citizens. And now we honor them and elevate them to such a level that, and yet they're still the same people they always were. You know, you still should lock up your daughters when the actors come to town, but we elevate them to such a level they think they know more than they do.
Speaking of culture and socialism, the bread and circuses of athletics, your reaction to the Nike Kaepernick campaign and sort of the rolling controversy in the NFL now that the season has kicked off about kneelers and the flag and the like?
You know, I'm a huge football fan, and I cannot bring myself to watch an NFL football game as long as they are refusing to enforce their own rules about disrespecting the flag. And this is not just jingoism. It really isn't. Sports has always, everywhere, been a national pastime and a unifying event. You know, it has always been since ancient Greece. The sports were meant to bring people together in a national way. And when you go out and you disrespect the flag, when you honor a second-rate guy like Colin Kaepernick, I mean, he was a second-rate quarterback, and the way he talks and the things he says about the country that has supported him, he's not being a first-rate human being when he does that. When you put him as the face of your product and you stand by that, even if your sales go up, I don't care whether your sales go up or down, and when you kneel and you disrespect the flag, and when you make excuses for Serena Williams behaving badly on the court, which she's done all her career, you're really telling people, the people who are at home watching, that we are here for them instead of them being here for us. You know, they forget who pays them. They forget who pays their salary. They forget who's there to watch them. The NFL is failing only because of these behaviors. The NFL is losing audience only because of these behaviors. And on top of it, their behaviors are wrong. I mean, if you're a person who thinks that you are oppressed in America, that the police are somehow abusing you in your community or abusing your community, you are appealing to me as your fellow American to care. You are saying to me, I'm not getting my American rights. For me to care, I have to know that you are my brother American. We can disagree, we can look at things differently, but we've got to be united, at least in that we are both Americans and that we both stand by those values. When you disrespect the flag, you're basically saying to me, screw you, screw your country, and I'm going to say the same thing back to you. I'm going to say, I don't care what your problems are. You're not one of me. You're not one of mine. You're not a fellow American. What do I need? Why should I support you? So it's divisive in every possible way. I think they hurt themselves. I really do. And it's a shame because I love watching football, but I cannot watch these millionaires, sports players, disrespect the country that makes them what they are.
You didn't watch any football this weekend?
Yeah,
Come on.
I tried to. I turned it on, the Chargers game, and I thought,
that's tough to watch. That's just tough to watch, period.
They're supposed to be good this year. But how long did you last?
It really is a shame. I love the sport.
I wanted to get your take on something that Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse said over the weekend about he considers leaving the Republican Party daily because he's sick of the soap opera that is occurring within the Trump administration from his perspective. And also David French over at National Review wrote this, and particularly interesting to get your response since you're the author of The Great Good Thing, A Secular View Comes to Faith in Christ. David French writing, I no longer consider myself a Republican. I'm a Christian and a conservative who evaluates each race on the merits, and I'm happy to vote third party when appropriate. The R by a name no longer indicates that the candidate likely shares my values or political goals. That's long been the case in Illinois for me, but I wonder what your response is to Sasse and French.
Well, David French I know David, he's a good guy, good man, and I've disagreed with him ever since the election of Trump. Again, we don't live in our imaginations. We live in reality. In reality, there are two parties. One party is closer to moving toward constitutional liberty. The other one is dedicated to moving away from it. There's no question in my mind anymore that the left, the Democrats, are no longer responsible to the Constitution and to the vision of America where people are free, where people govern themselves. So you really don't have that much of a choice, And I think that the people, the commentariat, and the people in the Beltway and the people who are wrapped up in politics are losing sight of the goals here. President Trump, an obstreperous guy, a guy I have a lot of problems with, a guy I don't always like. His administration is doing a great job. Now, maybe it's being run by some anonymous, unelected New York Times op-ed writer. I don't think so. I don't think so. The things that have come out of this administration are exactly the things President Trump promised when he was running. So somewhere along the line, he is the generator and engine of the change that we are seeing in this country, and the change has been amazing. I mean, when you have jobs being created so rapidly that wages finally are starting to rise, when you have us largely pulled out of all the entangling wars we were in, all these things are beautiful things, and we're supposed to miss them. We're supposed to be worried because he has a chaotic governing style or that he's a mean guy. I'm not John Kelly. I don't have to worry about it. If John Kelly has a hard time going to work in the morning, that's not my problem. I have people to support. I have a job to do. I have a life to live. So this idea that somehow the rest of us are supposed to become hysterical over Trump's governing style is absurd. And, Bob Woodward, good reporter, he can go out there and tell me that the world is going to explode because of a tweet, which is essentially what he's been saying to sell his book. I don't buy it. I don't see the world exploding. I see the world getting more peaceful. I see our economy booming. I see judges being appointed who are dedicated to the Constitution. I see regulations being dialed back. I see factory jobs that weren't supposed to ever come back coming back. So I just don't care. I don't think any of us should care if President Trump is an obstreperous loudmouth, which he obviously is. I mean, I don't understand outside the Beltway, outside the fever swamp of Washington and the Commentariat, why that's the problem. So to David French at this point, I would just say, look, we play the cards we're dealt. I wish we were voting for Abe Lincoln too. We're not. I wish we had a choice. When the Democrats make fun of us for voting for Donald Trump, I always remind them who he was running against. He was running against Ma Barker. He wasn't running against George Washington. So I mean, we play the cards we're dealt, and that's the way I feel about David French. As for Sass made one of the greatest speeches, 2-minute speeches I ever heard during the Kavanaugh hearings about how we have to get back to the Constitution and how we have to get back to Schoolhouse Rock, basic learning about how the government's supposed to work. He is absolutely right about this. And I understand his feelings, but he should step back too and ask himself, what are the results of his actions? What are the results of his actions? There are only two operational parties, and the other party is becoming increasingly socialist, increasingly dedicated to silencing the opposition in every venue they can. They are opposed to the Second Amendment. They're opposed to the First Amendment. Where is he going to go? If he's not a Republican, what is he going to be? Now, you can argue that there should be a third party, and go ahead and try it. I'd be happy to, see it happen. But right now, the only thing he can do by leaving the party is hurt the country. And so if those are, you got to play the cards you're dealt. You really do. You have to live in reality. And I think these guys are living, again, in their imaginations of what reality can be. And I do not think that that's a very good idea right now.
Real quick before we let you go, what do you think of President Trump's hunt for the op-ed author?
Kind of a waste of time. The guy's probably a low-level State Department toady. The line in the op-ed about John McCain and worshiping John McCain was kind of a giveaway. I don't think he's a very important person. I think it's very possible that Trump could get obsessed with something like that. He strikes me as the kind of person who might get obsessed with it. But really, who cares? I mean, there are always these guys. There are always underlings who think they run the place. In every big organization, there's some guy who thinks, without me, this place couldn't operate. I'm the guy who's really doing it. I think it's just, it's just a ruse by the New York Times and the rest of the left to make us panic about a great time in American history. These have been 2 years of peace and prosperity, and they just want to make sure that they keep the panic level high, especially going into the midterms.
He is Andrew Klavan. You can catch a daily podcast at the Daily Wire, The Andrew Klavan Show. Also, a number of books that were made into motion pictures, True Crime, Don't Say a Word, and his most recent offering, The Great Good Thing, A Secular Jew Comes to Faith in Christ. Andrew, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've got ankylosing spondylitis, which is a arthritic disease, calcification of the major joints and spine, and I just don't have the pain that I used to have. It's really kind of amazing. Balance of Nature has been an amazing product. I've recommended it to literally hundreds. I'm a pastor, and I've said, y'all just try it. Give it a month. Give it a try. And so hopefully they have. But it's an amazing product, and the neatest thing is when you first open up that bottle and you can smell the fruits and vegetables. Every time I open one, I just get a big kick out of that.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, looking for a job? Well, listen up. Permaseal is hiring in all departments, especially sales, customer service, and installation. They're looking for people with a great work ethic, who have ambition, positive attitude, want to learn new skills, and have a desire to make the world a better, drier place. Does this sound like you? Then go to permaseal.net/careers to apply today. No experience is needed. Permaseal will teach you to become an expert in waterproofing and foundation repair. Their experienced team offers great training, year-round work, tremendous growth opportunities, and a great, fun work environment. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers. And if you're looking for a career change or for a dry basement, you know who to call. Permaseal, 1-800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
Email phishing attacks cost businesses billions annually in real cash, data loss, and brand damage. Phishing emails are hard to detect because the messages appear to be legitimate to unsuspecting employees. Introducing Barracuda Phishline, a groundbreaking cloud-based solution designed to help employees recognize sophisticated email phishing attacks through interactive training reinforced by continuous simulation. Transform your employees from a liability into a line of defense. Go to barracuda.com/PL to learn more.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. We all know increasing revenue's tough, but did you know that 100% of main sources of income fail? The odds are 100% that your current main source of income will someday no longer exist. 439 of 1955's original Fortune 500 are no longer around, yet their industries and even their product lines still thrive. What happened to these companies? Simple. They didn't believe that 100% of main sources of income fail. They never added a second revenue model. For years, my friends at Income Store have helped both households and businesses build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-694-2640 now. That's 800-694-2640 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-694-2640 to learn more. 800-694-2640. That's 800-694-2640. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Mitch contacted the nation's largest online lender, obsessed with their Rocket for a VA mortgage, but was overwhelmed by their ridiculously high closing costs. So he called Team Hochberg, which he should have done in the first place. Team Hochberg secured Mitch a lower rate with substantially lowered closing costs. When securing a VA loan, you can contact the largest online lender who finances the millions of dollars promoting their Rocket through higher rates and closing costs, or you can call a trusted local lender, Team Hochberg, at 312-751-1333, who values the sacrifices you made for our country and has substantially lower closing costs and interest rates, because guess what? We don't have a Rocket. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, wouldn't it be more fun if all these diminutive Chicago politicians were transformed into Lord of the Rings characters?
There would be. I mean,
Yeah.
From the Lollipop Gang to that.
Exactly.
They take on a little more sinister role or a look.
Bring out the Legolas in Mike Madigan. Bring out the Galadriel in John Cullerton. And I got the woman who can do it. Her name is Kimberell. She is on a mission she's named Project Elvenstar, which involves helping humans transform into high elves by elevating their consciousness. She dresses as a high elf as much as she can, and as she says, in velvet, silk, ornate, detailed, or nature-inspired clothing. I have about 5 different types of elf ears and cuffs I wear, plus my own ears.
Elf ears.
Plus my own ears have a... You know who has elven ears?
Oh, who?
I noticed this last night at halftime. Tony Dungy.
Oh, you're right.
It's weird.
Yeah, he's got the pointy. Yeah.
Maybe he lives life as a high elf these days. I don't know. She says she wants humanity to grow up organically and move forwards into a brighter age of experience that lives peacefully with nature and advanced technology for all to experience. So, yeah, you got that option for all of our Munchkin, Shetland, Chicago Democrats, which at least would be more entertaining to see them walking around
in elf suits
like that. I mean,
I like my elves as Christmas elves.
Now, if she could make me look like Orlando Bloom, then we could talk.
Oh, okay. Thanks so much for making us part of your work week. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, director, associate producer Quinn McCarthy, and executive producer Keith Conrad. We are back here bright and early tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Have a wonderful day. Now here is Mike Scott.
A beach hazard statement is up. We'll tell you which beaches are going to be impacted by high waves.